Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in for this video. So we're going to see Penn State and Wisconsin. So looking forward to seeing how this Big Ten matchup is going to do here. This is a good one here. The Wisconsin Badgers, Penn State, very important for both of these schools here. Want to get off to a fast start this season. So this is going to be a good one here. Really looking forward to seeing it. And technically what is considered week one of the college football season. Penn State versus Wisconsin. Yeah, so the question I'll go ahead and leave up there for a second is, who do you have winning this game? Is it going to be Penn State or Wisconsin? Definitely let me know in the live chat section. Who do you have winning this one? Is it going to be Penn State or Wisconsin? This game is crucial to both of these teams in terms of their aspirations for this year. Obviously, Penn State got off to a slow start last year, and they want to make sure that this year they get off to a fast start. Both teams really had disappointing campaigns last year compared to their expectations, and so they're going to be looking to get off to a great start this year. And what better than to start off with a win against a top 25 opponent in the Big Ten? When I think about this matchup here, I mean, personally, if I had to choose between Penn State and Wisconsin, I think that this one would be close, but ultimately in the end, with it being down in Wisconsin, I feel that Wisconsin's going to end up winning this game. I mean, I just got a gut feeling that Wisconsin's going to win this game. But I will be very interested in seeing how this is going to turn out and play in this one. Okay, so Penn State's going to get the ball first. All right, we're going to get ready to kick this game off here. Two teams in the top 20 going at it in the Big Ten. All right, kickoff, there will be no return. So Sean Clifford coming in at quarterback, career record of 14-6, career completion percentage of 60%, and a total of 41 touchdowns and 16 interceptions throughout his career. This is his 21st career start. All right, so they're lining up in the shotgun formation at the 25. Guy goes in motion. Running play, and that's going to be a loss of at least about 2 yards as Wisconsin defense from the get-go comes out and stuffs that one in the backfield. That's going to set up at least about a 2nd and 11. All right, 2nd and 11. Penn State's in the gun again. It's already a flag. Okay, so Wisconsin burning a timeout already. And that's just a sign that obviously with it being the first game for these two teams, you're going to see a couple mistakes and stuff. So, yeah, that was Wisconsin with the timeout here early on in this one. Okay, it looks like they're going to line him up under center now. Okay, so he's going to take this snap under center. It's 2nd and 11. Receiver in motion. Play action fake. He throws it. Nice pass on the money. Let's see if they give him the first. No, just shy. All right, so this should be like 3rd and a couple inches here. 3rd and 1. They're in the gun. And there's a penalty right now. Penn State. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be on Penn State. Okay, that's a false start on Penn State, and that's going to move them back 5 yards, making this a 3 and 6. All right, so 3rd and 6 against this Wisconsin defense. Clifford's looking, and he's sacked on the play. What a sack. And Wisconsin's defensive line able to get to in the backfield with ease on this possession, pretty much setting the tone for this game. Oh, yeah, they just won that power right there. They absolutely outpowered the offensive line on that one for Wisconsin. So we're going to see the first punt of the game. All right, Penn State punts it. All right, so that should be at about the 22, 23-yard line with that catch off the punt. So now we're going to get to see Wisconsin's offense for the first time today. Let's see, Mertz throughout his career so far, well, in the opener actually against the Fighting Illini in 2020, he had 5 touchdowns in that game, throwing 20 of 21. So let's see if he can follow that up this year in this year's opener and have a similar performance. Oh, in the backfield. Wow, that is a Great play right there to get in the backfield for Penn State on that first down. Basically, when you win the battle up front early on, that makes the rest of the downs a lot much more obtainable for the defense, where you know that they're going to have to get a chunk of yards to try to get the first down. Wisconsin snaps it. And it looks like he gets the first down on that play. What a carry. And that's a first down. So after that great play that Penn State had on first down to make them lose about 3-4 yards, they're able to get it all here on this second down carry. This very well could turn out to become a defensive game, potentially with both of these teams. Oh, my, look at the way he's running. I guess when you spend 2 years behind Travis Etienne, you actually, you learn a couple of things. Oh, yeah, nice. Running in between tackles and just getting as many yards as he can on the play and finishing strong. They're looking to pass. Pressure's getting to him, and he just throws that one away. Penn State looking for the flag, but they do not receive one. But excellent pass rush on that one. Okay, so they do get the flag here after the referees talk it over. Yes, so we have a grounding call against Wisconsin's quarterback. That's going to move him back and loss it down. Because Penn State pressure was all on him on that one. All right, so they're lining up in the shotgun formation again. This is going to be 2nd and 28. Snaps the ball. He's looking, throws it quick. All right, that should be a gain of about 4 yards on that play. Nice tackle by Penn State. Ferguson with the reception for Wisconsin. So it's going to be 3rd and 23. Let's see if Mertz has a play that he can get this first down with, or at least get a lot of yards. Penn State looking to bring pressure, it seems. They hand the ball off in the backfield. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage on that play, but excellent stop by Penn State, stopping that running play on that one. And that's going to force a punt here. So we've seen both defenses come out early in this first drives for each possessions for both units and come out and get the stops. One thing to take note of from this possession is how easily Penn State's been able to get in the backfield. Wisconsin, however, it seems like when they're able to run the ball in the middle, that's been very successful. But if they get into 3rd and long, 2nd and long situations, that's going to put them at a huge disadvantage. Meanwhile, we're going to have a return by Penn State. All right, so he makes it to about the 37-yard line on the return. So now Penn State will get a second chance to come out here. And do remember, guys, that you certainly can comment here in the live chat section. The best way to have your thoughts or questions seen as well. So definitely do, comment in the live chat and let me know your thoughts, who you have winning this game, things of that sort. Definitely looking forward to hearing from you guys and appreciate you guys so much for joining. But yeah, so far in this one, it's looking like, the defenses are coming out and they're able to get in the backfield, honestly. I mean, the offensive lines, they're really getting manhandled by the defensive lines for both teams so far in this one. And it's going to be a battle at the line of scrimmage, which offensive line can hold up the best in this one and allow their playmakers to make plays. That plus being able to take care of the ball and no turnovers. Those are going to be what's key in these matchups here. Let's see, but so far in this one, just recapping, Wisconsin and what they were able to do. Whenever they ran the ball with Malusi, he was able to carry the ball like 4 times for 22 yards. So that was huge. But that penalty on Mertz for intentional grounding, that really did hurt the drive for Wisconsin, because they were able to really run the ball in this one. And so the Wisconsin Badgers, they were able to move the ball some, but when they tried to pass, they really did not have a lot of time in that last possession, as Penn State's able to get a lot of pass rush with ease against Wisconsin. So that's something to keep an eye on as this game continues to unfold. All right, so we're going to return to the field now. Get to see Penn State come out there for the second possession of the game. Let's see if Clifford and company can get something going here on this second possession. All right, quick throw out the gun, and he throws it, and that's probably going to be gaining maybe about 2 yards off of that quick pass. They went trips right, and Wisconsin was ready for it. All right, so we're looking at 2nd and 9. All right, so Penn State looks to be lining up in the gun again. 2 receivers on each side. All right, receiver in motion, snaps the ball. He's looking, and he throws it quick. He started to feel the pressure on that one, and that's going to be incomplete. So we're looking at a 3rd and 9. Yeah, Penn State brought that linebacker, and due to the center and guard being occupied by the defensive tackle, that allowed the linebacker to come in there pretty much unaccounted for right down the middle. And you never want that for your team. I mean, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. So in that case, Mertz sort of really had to throw that ball out there. I mean, not Mertz, Clifford had to throw that ball quickly and just get it out of there. 3rd and 9, he snaps it. He's looking. He throws it deep, and it's caught. All right, so that's going to take him to about the 40-yard line. So excellent play. That time the offensive line gave him time to look downfield, and he was able to make that throw to an open wide receiver. Oh, that was a nice move on that one. He baited in, and then he cut it back out. That was an excellent move. Okay, that's a nice pass right there. Gain of about a good 3 yards off of that. Had the option on that one to either hand it to the running back or keep it himself or throw it, so he opted to throw it. And you got trips up top at the top of the screen. Lining up out the gun. It's 2nd and 8. Clifford's looking. The pocket's collapsing around him. He still finds a way to throw it. Incomplete, but this time he was able to throw it to a running back that was nearby. So great job just being able to avoid taking a sack on that one and keeping it 3rd and 8. Meanwhile, Wisconsin still able to generate a lot of pressure in this one. All right, so we're looking at a 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8. Clifford, he's in the shotgun, brings it back in the backfield with him. All right, tight end moves. And they hand the ball off for a run, and this is not going to get them the first. This gets them about maybe, I'd say about 4 yards on that carry. So Wisconsin defense with the stop. And Penn State, they are up in the tempo here. They're fit to go for it, it looks like, on 4th and 4. They snap it. He's looking. Clifford throws it up. Incomplete. Terrible. Yet absolutely terrible execution on that one. Absolutely. But a great job by Wisconsin being ready. Penn State tried to up the tempo there, snap the ball. There was just nothing there because the defense was great by Wisconsin on that one. And it looked like Penn State just honestly wasn't on the same page on that call. So what a stop by the Wisconsin Badgers. And when we return from commercial, the Wisconsin Badgers, they are going to have the ball for their second possession of the game. So far in this one, it has been a great defensive game so far. Yeah, one thing is definitely for sure in this one is that the Penn State Nittany Lions, they're definitely going to be up under duress every time they go back to pass the ball. You know, Wisconsin, they are definitely blitzing and getting effective pressure, which is really making life a lot harder right now for Penn State. So we'll see what type of adjustments Penn State makes in future possessions. Let me see. So I'm just realizing, guys, that I cannot see your comments in the comment section. So I apologize about that, guys. I'm just now looking on my phone, and for some reason, it's not popping up here on this. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Let's see. All right, so yeah, I apologize about that, guys, in terms of not being able to actually see your comments here on the screen. Not entirely sure what's going on with that, but I will just have to read it from my phone for now. So let's see. Carmichael Mosby says Penn State. Okay, so we've got one for Penn State winning this one. Nice to have you on the stream, Carmichael. Thank you so much. If you're still watching, apologize I wasn't able to actually see your comment here in live time. Let's see. Azashak, you say Penn State as well. Hey, glad to have you here, Azashak. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I'm really glad to have you here. Again, apologize. I'm just now seeing this through my phone. So I'm not actually able to put it up here on the chat thing for some reason. Let's see. Carmichael says you're watching Tulane versus Oklahoma. Yeah, how is that game going? I imagine Oklahoma's probably up by at least a couple touchdowns by now, I would have to think. Let's see. Azure Shack says, how's the stream been? Well, I mean, up until now, I didn't even know that anybody was actually commenting on the stream. So, oh, man, what a hit on that one right there. And that is a fumble. And it's looking like Penn State has the ball. Yeah, Penn State has the ball. What a hit on that one. That was a hit. And that defense right there, I said it earlier, protecting the ball and not turning it over, that is going to be huge in this one. But what a hit right there by Penn State. Okay, so we've got a guy that's down right now. It's looking like for an injury. And Wisconsin's quarterback is trying to make the case that it was a forward pass. So let's see. Okay, Mike says Penn State. What's going on, Mike? Thank you so much for joining, man. Glad to have you here. Again, apologize, just now seeing this through my phone, but it's still not showing up for some reason in my actual, chat here. So I apologize about that. Let's see. Mike says Penn State and Wisconsin are in what conference? Yeah, Mike, they're in the Big Ten Conference. And so, both of these teams, extremely important game for both of them as they really want to show that this year they're going to be able to contend for a Big Ten title. And so, I mean, if anybody's going to give Ohio State challenges this year in the division, it's going to be both of these teams, or at least the winner of this one, to at least perform some type of challenge. Let's see. What do we know about Penn State quarterback? Well, I mean, Penn State quarterback, he comes in with some experience to him. And so, I mean, he's definitely, I think, a good college quarterback. And so, just definitely comes with a lot of experience. And he's very important. I mean, if they can give him more time, he can make some good reads. But, of course, getting time is going to be one of the important aspects of that. Let's see. Mike says, man, it's nice to see college football. Let's go. Love the energy, Mike. Love the energy. Glad to hear you. Glad to hear you. Let's see. You say J.N. Dotson is an NFL player to watch. I hear for the draft. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually, speaking of the draft, I'm not sure if you guys watched last night that North Carolina versus Virginia game, but man, I mean, that makes you wonder a lot about, North Carolina's quarterback. I've been hearing a lot about him in terms of being one of the top quarterbacks for next year, but to take a loss like that, obviously, as it's early in the season, so a lot can change, but that's definitely something that caught my attention, that North Carolina loss to Virginia Tech, I'm sorry. So, yeah, what a loss that was right there. Let's see. Mike says, chilling, pumped to see the crowds, hoping to learn. Absolutely, Mike. This is a great time right here. Have college football going, the official week 1 of college football, and starting off what's going to be a very long but exciting day of college football from start to finish, especially with some of the games that will be on later in the day. All right, so that punt's going to go in there. Let's see. But, yeah, that was one heck of a hit right there on Mertz. He's going to be feeling that one in the morning for sure. Let's see. Still trying to figure out the issue as to why I can't see the comments directly to my stream. Let's see. All right, just trying to do a couple things here to see if something will update. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, hopefully I can get this issue resolved before the end of the stream. But if not, then we'll just have to go with what we've got. Let's see. Mike says, let's see. How many games are there in a college football season usually? Yeah, usually 12 games, throughout a season. That's enough, for a team to see if they're, going to become maybe bowl eligible with 6 wins to where they can qualify for a bowl win with at least a minimum of 6 wins just to get qualified to get an invite to a bowl game. But yeah, 12 games is what we usually see. Now, obviously, with everything that's been going on lately, 12 games is the expectation, but, obviously things come up and sometimes games can't be played, but generally we're looking at about 12 games generally. Let's see. You said, are there lots of differences with roster rules for college than like the NFL? Yeah, so colleges, the best part about college is that you have a lot more players that you can have on the roster, and then you have a lot of people in which you can actually redshirt that, basically usually coming out of high school, give them that first year where they're redshirt, practice with the team, but they're not generally, counted to where they can't suit up, to actually play in a game. Unless, you can remove it, but, generally that gives them an extra year of eligibility. Typically, most college players, if they are really extremely good, you might see them actually play maybe 3 years before they can declare for the draft. And so generally it's stuff like that when it comes to the rosters and stuff for the difference between the NFL and college football generally. Meanwhile, Clifford, he's running for his life, and yeah, he was able to somehow turn that into about a 3-yard gain. And in terms of the rules and stuff for college football, yeah, one big difference between college football and the NFL is like when it comes to a reception, like a catch. In the NFL, you need to have both feet down for it to be considered a catch, along with possession, or either both knees down. But in college football, you only need 1 foot. That's one difference there. Another difference for college football is how overtime works, where both teams, get the ball, and if you keep scoring, and both teams will keep getting the ball, and so forth until we break that tie. So a lot of times in college football, it's not extremely odd to see about 2 or 3 overtimes, if it gets to that point in college football. And so let's see. Another difference when it comes to the NFL and college football. Let's see off the top of my head right now. I was thinking about it earlier. Another difference would be, when it comes to like late in the games and stuff, in terms of when you get a first down, stopping the clock in college football, late in the games, yeah, that's definitely one difference right there. So just a couple differences there. All right, so we're looking at 3rd and 9. Penn State has the ball. Clifford's looking. They love sending something up, like right up that A gap. Meanwhile, that's going to be incomplete. But yeah, Wisconsin loves sending pressure up that middle. They clearly don't want Clifford to stand still in the pocket. But Wisconsin, that defense is looking really good right now. And what a stop we have. But yeah, that pass right there was just a little out in front of him. He had a big target he was throwing to, but obviously when that pressure's coming, you don't have all day. So you got to make your decision quick. Of course, Mike, no problem. No problem at all. Yeah, I can't believe it. I was like checking my chat because I was like, I know usually when I hop on, at least one person usually joins. And there's the flag right there. Yeah, you cannot hit a guy when he calls for that fair catch. You just can't do it. But yeah, I was checking the chat on here and I was like, I don't see anything on the chat. So for all this time, I had to just check my phone. I wonder what's going on with that. Let me see. See if there's anything I can fix on my end. That did nothing. Let's see, but yeah, still haven't found a way to update. Fix what's going on with this. Hmm. Let's see. Mike says that reading the MLB, Sandburn has NFL potential. Wisconsin. Oh yeah, definitely has that potential, and so it's just a matter of seeing how that's going to go. But absolutely, absolutely, and again, apologize, guys. I know I usually have the chat pop up here, but for some reason, through the app that I'm using, it's just not displaying on my end for me to put it up here. So I have to keep checking my phone back and forth. So I apologize about that. But yeah, what a game so far in this one. I mean, we're seeing a lot of defensive pressure, honestly. I mean, they're able to, especially when Wisconsin has it, they're generating pressure through the inside. And when Penn State has it, it's really coming from, I guess you can say, more of like just the defensive line in general. What Wisconsin is blitzing that inside linebacker just about on every like key obvious passing down to make sure that Clifford does not have the ability to stand in the pocket and throw that ball. And it's been very effective in this one. Yeah, but I'll say this though, Wisconsin's run defense, though, I mean, they've done a pretty good job. I mean, it's not like Penn State's been really trying too much so far to run that ball, but yeah, I mean, they've got them in the negative yards so far. We're almost, we've got about 5 minutes and 46 seconds remaining at the end of this first before the end of this first quarter. All right, so we're getting ready to snap the ball. So running play, and he got about a good 3 yards on that one. Fall forward for 3 yards. Love the way that he's running physical in this one. I mean, he's definitely been a bright spot for Wisconsin so far in this game. This is going to be 2nd and 7. All right, play action fake. What a play action fake. And they get it to the tight end who's, let's see if they give him the first down. But that was a nice play call. The play action fake. Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do on that one. I mean, if he was trying to chop him, that definitely was a bad miss on that one. Yeah, to me, it looks like he may have been short on that play. Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 1. You know they're going to try to power this one through. They hand it to the fullback, and he's definitely got that first down by at least a full solid yard. Excellent play call by Wisconsin on that one, and they just powered their way for that first down. All right, so now with a fresh new set of downs here, we'll see if Wisconsin line up. They still got a lot of big men up front. They're going to be looking to see if they can power a little bit more against Penn State. I mean, that's really what's been working so far in this one as they hand the ball off. And so he gains a lot, at least about a good, I'd say about 4 yards on that play. And I love the way that he's running because after the contact, he's still finishing forward after, which is very big for Wisconsin. If they rely on him a lot more in this one, I believe that they can at least start getting in field goal range and start putting some points on the board. They need stuff like 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. They need those short plays because whenever it's been 3rd and long, they've just been a lot of pressure generated. They're back in the gun. Hand the ball off, and this time he's taking in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. I don't know why they got out of the, just went to the gun in that formation. They should have just stuck with the big guys up front. It was working, and so I felt like, that's probably their best formula right now to move the ball against Penn State, or at least force them to have to switch their defense. Because everybody pretty much knew that it was going to be a running play on that one. All right, so 3rd and 9 out of the gun. Mertz throws it. A nice screen, but will it work? Oh, he gave that a lot of effort there. I mean, he was fighting being tripped up and stuff, but Ferguson was able to get that up to about 4th and 1 now, making it to where they can go for it. And you have to think, given all the way that they've been working so far in this one, you would have to think that they would go for it on this. That's what I would do. I would bring out a lot of linemen, a lot of tight ends on this one, and let's just either hand it to the fullback again or maybe even quarterback sneak it. I say hand it to the fullback. Okay, Penn State's clearly looking for something up the middle. Hand it to the back. Oh, he gets the first, but he knows there was nothing but yards. If he could have got through there without being touched, that would have been a touchdown at least right there. I mean, he knows if he gets out of that tackle, that could have been 6 right there. And he knew it too. I mean, he got the first down, but man, if he would not have been tripped by number 1 on Penn State, my goodness, there was nothing but green in front of him. I know that had to be frustrating right there. Talk about making a tackle, a clutch one. They may not have prevented the first, but it stopped them from getting in the end zone. And so now we've got a Penn State player that's currently down. And so he's being attended to by the medical staff. But, man, what a great play that was by Wisconsin to get that first down. But it could have been bigger than that, guys. It really could have been. All right, so they're helping him up. He's walking off on his own, so that's a great sign right there. All right, so we're going to have a fresh new set of downs here with a 1st and 10. All right, so they've got a quarterback up on the center. They run the ball here, and, man, what a nice call. What a nice lane. Okay, what a carry on that one. And, yeah, Wisconsin, I'm telling you, if they keep doing this throughout the duration of this, at least throughout the duration of this first half until Penn State's able to make more adjustments, I mean, clearly this is where they have their advantage. This inside, running the ball, the interior of the offensive line, they're running that battle right now. So that bodes well for Wisconsin, as they're going to be looking to get the first points of the game in this one, should they be able to finish. All right, so Wisconsin using their second timeout already here in the first quarter with less than a minute to go before the second quarter. Let's see, Mike says, very nice cut. Yeah, that was a nice cut, absolutely. And I love the way that he is running in this one. He is coming up huge for Wisconsin in this one. Oh man, I see that the Oklahoma and Tulane game, that one is currently tied up 14-14. Wow. So, I mean, I get it. It's the first week, but I mean, if Oklahoma ends up winning and it's close or something like that, I want to see what Desmond Howard's got to say about them because he was pretty harsh on Ohio State, considering what Ohio State was able to do, in which I anticipated going down to Minnesota night game, first game of the season. I figured the Ohio State matchup was going to be a close one, and then later on, Ohio State will pull out at the end, as they always do. Meanwhile, what a nice handoff there on the reverse, and there it is. Pryor on that carry. Let's see. Yeah, so Sam Ellinger, I believe I know he's going to be out for about 6 weeks, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not confusing his time frame with someone else, I believe that'll be about a good 6 weeks. So needless to say, yeah, Sam, he's going to be out for he's not going to get the opportunity to go out there and start in the games for the Colts unless something goes really wrong this year. Meanwhile, Wisconsin fighting for that one. Did he get enough to get the first down? I think he's just shy of the first, but let's see what the refs say. Okay, so it's looking like he's just shy. So it's going to be 3rd and 1, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So right now we're looking at a 0-0. It's been a defensive matchup, lots of pressure, hard hits in this one, but it's the running game for Wisconsin that's really stepping up. And if they're going to win this one, it's going to be up to that guy to run them to the promised land in this one. Let's see. Mike says, when was the Ohio State game? Who did they play? Yeah, so Ohio State, they were playing Thursday, and so they ended up playing against Minnesota. It was at Minnesota, so a Big Ten conference game, and so Minnesota, they had especially on the offensive line, I believe a lot of starters returning, as well as their lead running back, and so that game early on, Minnesota, they took the lead against Ohio State, and so I know a lot of people may have been surprised, but if you watch Ohio State throughout the years, usually when Ohio State goes on the road at night against a team like that, it usually spells a lot of trouble. And so I remember, I think last year, was it a game against Indiana or something like that? And a couple of years ago when Ohio State played against, Purdue, Iowa, they all have a couple things in common. They've been night games on the road, particularly a little bit earlier in the season. So, I was not surprised by what happened with Ohio State in that one and how they won the game. The important fact was that they were able to win the game because usually teams like to start off with, like a cupcake matchup. And I know that Desmond Howard was talking about how Minnesota is not a top 25, team, blah, blah, blah. But essentially, hey, they're still a Big Ten team. They're in conference game. So I was not surprised that things went how they went as well. I think as the season continues to progress, especially starting the first-time starter who took no snaps at the previous quarterback, a quarterback before, it was just good for Ohio State to get that win. And as the season goes on, that team's going to look better and better. So I'm not worried about Ohio State at all in this one. Now, it will be a tough matchup next week against Oregon. So we'll get a real test. They're a huge test for Ohio State. But throughout the duration of the season, I think they'll continue to get better. You said you said amazing that JP Lossman was from Tulane. That's right. I remember JP Lossman, the quarterback that was taken by the Buffalo Bills back then. I mean, that goes back to when those days when he was in Tulane. So that's taking it back there. And let's see. You said you believe it's on. Yeah. That is in Louisiana. So yeah, Tulane. Yeah. And so there we have it. It's looking like Wisconsin's going to be able to score here. The way that they are running that ball physically, the only way that they won't get a touchdown, I feel, is if they start lining back up in the gun formation. They don't need to snap out of the shotgun. They're doing just great when they have, all those big guys up front, and they just go ahead and power it in. Because right now that seems to be the only thing that's working, and it's working very effectively against Penn State. So the only person that can mess them up would be themselves right now if they stray away from that. As we get ready for the second quarter to begin. Again, I apologize, guys, that I'm not able to put the chat on here like normal. I don't know what's going on, but the app that I'm using right now is not displaying the comments up here like it usually does, so I'm having to look for my phone. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to return here in this one. This is going to be very important for Wisconsin to go ahead and finish with a touchdown. You always want, when you have a long drive like this, you've pretty much been, pounding it down the field. You definitely want to finish strong and put 6 points on the board. No doubt about that. And if you're Penn State, you definitely want to try to stop Wisconsin here. I mean, Wisconsin's been able to run the ball way too much for Penn State's liking right now. And that's something that they're going to have to make some serious adjustments about. But right now it's 3rd and 1. Quarterback sneak. Can he get it? And I believe it's the second effort of everybody that was pushing him forward to make that power fall forward that would give him that first down, I would think. But let's see what the referees say. Penn State thinks he's short. It's all about where the referees are going to place him. Yeah, but initially Penn State stopped that quarterback sneak, but he was able to roll to the side, and then he had some help being pushed forward. All right, so that's going to be a 1st and goal. So they're basically, you might as well say they've got 4 downs to get this, because, I mean, I don't know who in their right mind would take a field goal with the possession that they've had right now. But Penn State's going to be looking for something at the middle. All right, we've got a flag here. That's going to be on the offensive line. You can't have penalties like this. You just can't do it. You cannot have penalties like that. Not at the goal line. Because given how they've been able to move the ball, and you know that right now Penn State's defense is going to be looking to try to stop the middle, and that's what's been working for Wisconsin. You cannot have false starts cost you right now. So that's going to move him back a little bit. But it's still going to be 1st and goal. And wow, what a possession. 11 plays for 46 yards. Meanwhile, that Tulane and Oklahoma game at the end of that first quarter, we're still tied 14-14, guys. Talk about an upset alert. They hand the ball up the middle. No surprise there, but Penn State is able to stop them after a gain of maybe half a yard on that one. So excellent play by Penn State's defense to stop them on 1st, and we'll see what they do on 2nd down. Due to that penalty, that does change things, I think. They're going to have to consider at some point maybe doing some type of bootleg to the right, and find one of those tight ends that they have. We'll see what they called here. As for Penn State, you really want to hold them at least to a field goal attempt. All right, so they're going to be lining up in the gun here. So let's see what they call. They're looking to pass. Throws it. Incomplete. Yeah, incomplete. Just basically throw that ball away and live for another down. And this is what Penn State wants. This is when Penn State has the advantage right now, when Wisconsin is having to line up in the gun and try to air it out. Because right now they are struggling mightily against that, against the run of Wisconsin. Yeah, his receiver literally had no chance at that one. All right, so it's going to be 3rd and goal. And the people that traveled down there for Penn State, they are standing up to give this defense more energy. Let's see if they're going to be able to get it here out the gun. Will Penn State bring pressure? No, they only send 3 guys. They throw it in there. Incomplete. Incomplete. Not surprised there, given how Penn State only rushed 3 guys on that play, but yet Wisconsin quarterback, thinking that the rush was going to come, Mertz just threw that ball quickly and out of there. He didn't have a prayer to get that one. And this all goes back to that penalty a couple plays ago, that false start penalty. I believe that prevented Wisconsin from getting a touchdown. So you'd have to think that they'll take 3 points in this scenario. All right, so we've got a 25-yard field goal attempt coming up. Wisconsin kicks it, and it is no good. Wow, what a miss. How do you miss that close? Wow. I mean, the way that ball curved, though, it had to look like somebody at least got a finger on that ball. Someone had to. Looking at the replay now. Okay, yeah, that was definitely tipped. I was like, that, yeah, the way the ball curved, it definitely had to be tipped or something. So, but that ball, like, he got a complete hand on that. And Wisconsin fans are in disbelief, guys. Just a couple plays ago, it was looking like the Badgers were going to be able to basically badger their way into the end zone, but a false start moved them back. And when they had to pass the ball, Penn State's defense was ready for them because Penn State is really stopping Wisconsin's passing game. Wisconsin's passing game is not up to par right now, and that's really hurting. So, but yeah, there we have that. Great stand for Penn State's defense. And now we'll see if their offense can come out there and try to get something going on this one. Because right now, so far in this one, when you look at what Penn State's been doing so far, they really have not been able to do much of anything. I mean, so they're going to have to get something going, whether we're talking through the air, running. They've got to get something going immediately. But what a stand by the defense. And it's been a defensive struggle in this one. So this is really big for Wisconsin in this one, that they were not able to capitalize on this tremendous opportunity. Let's go to the comment section here. Let's see. Mike says that you says that you're Ohio, the University of Miami quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. You said what was there, but no Bills did. Oh, okay. So you're talking about during the draft. Yeah, you wanted them to take Big Ben, but he wasn't on the board. And so, yeah, I remember when the Buffalo Bills did take J.P. Losman out of Tulane. That was way back when. He's kind of the forgotten guy in that, first round when we talk about Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers. We know that situation where, Eli not wanting to be a Charger. So basically that swapped the future for both of them. Then later on, Big Ben with the Steelers taking over for Tommy Maddox, who was the quarterback. But yeah, Buffalo did end up taking J.P. Losman. And I believe that he sat behind Drew Bledsoe his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken, for Buffalo that year. So most definitely, I remember that year for sure. Let's see. You say, needless to say, Penn State University had problems. Do you know what year they started being good again? Like as soon as James Franklin took over, I believe it was around the time that Urban Meyer had just joined Ohio State. It was around that time where Penn State had really started to, for a couple of years, become more competitive. Ever since coming off of their sanctions and stuff. So I'm guessing that had to be about, I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but I'm thinking around that 2014, 2015 timeframe, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody does know, do put that in the chat section for sure. But I'm thinking that was around the year that Penn State really started to become competitive again in the Big Ten, around that time frame. They say you're rooting for Tulane. You say Oklahoma and Alabama are NFL farm teams, not fair. Yeah, well, I mean, what a matchup, what a game that has been. I mean, I'm looking at the score now, and I see that Oklahoma and Tulane are still tied 14 apiece. And it's looking like right now Oklahoma's facing the 4th and 2, according to this. So, yeah, that seems to be a very intriguing game as well. Who would have thought that? But that's what happens when you play a team early in the year. I guess anything can happen, especially when you're coming, in with some new weapons and stuff. So we'll see what happens. But man, that would be a massive upset if Tulane's able to pull that one off. Meanwhile, Penn State, we've got the quarterback lining up under center here, guy in motion. And they run the ball, and Wisconsin meets him in the backfield, but he's able to bounce off of that and turn a negative play into 1 yard. And that's really important, guys. Whenever you're able to turn what would be a negative play into a positive play and you're a running back, make that a 2-yard gain, that's what separates, the good from the great backs. Those great backs, they're able to turn that into a positive rather than just lose 3-4 yards, especially how it's looking right now. You don't want a situation where Penn State can just put their ears back and come after your quarterback. They're in a gun formation, and he throws it. Oh, man. And so, Wisconsin is flying to the ball, guys. They are flying to the ball in this one on defense right now. So it's not looking all that great for Penn State. They're going to have to do something right now because Wisconsin, they are looking for these quick passes, and they are reading it great. They're stopping the run. So, you've got to find a situation where you can give the quarterback enough time to maybe take a deep shot if possible because Wisconsin is stopping the short stuff in this one. And yes, these fans, they know how important this Big Ten game is for both of these teams. This is a game you're certainly going to want to win. All right, so Clifford, he's looking. He throws it, and it is deflected at the line of scrimmage. That play never had a chance. And so I love the energy that Wisconsin's defense is playing with. Despite the fact that the offense was unable to score, Wisconsin's defense comes out and makes a stop, as they've been doing so far all in this one. But yeah, I mean, these are energy type of plays. You look at that field goal that was no good that Wisconsin tried to kick, and then that was an effort play on Penn State to be in position to get a hand up and block that kick. And then you look at Wisconsin here, on 3rd and 9, able to go out there and get a hand up and force them to have to punt the ball and give the offense the ball again. All right, so that's going to be a fair catch at the 25, and Wisconsin will have the ball next. It's important to note that Wisconsin did already use, 2 of their timeouts very early in the first quarter here already. So, later on in this game, if it does come down to clock management, they've only got 1 timeout left to work with. Yeah, and so far in this game, when you look at what Clifford has done, I mean, he's 5 of 10 passing for Penn State, 36 yards. Then you look at Mertz for Wisconsin, he's 4 of 7 for 26. So really, both quarterbacks haven't been able to have the impact in this one that you'd like to see. But the real difference so far in this game has just been for Wisconsin. I mean, Malusi with 12 carries, 48 yards. I mean, he's been pretty much the bright spot of this game when it comes to you look at both teams on the offensive side of the ball. So Wisconsin, I say they're going to have to get back out there, bring the big guys out there. This is the kind of game where they're just going to keep pounding it, just keep pounding the rock, because that's what gives them the best chance to win this one until Penn State puts a defense out there that can stop it. So I'd keep running it. Let's see, check the comments here. And so Kevin Durant's burner says, thank you so much for joining the stream. Glad to have you here. And so let's see. You say, hold on here. Okay, you said Kevin Durant would score more than either of these teams. You're not even kidding, man. Like the way this game is going right now, absolutely. Absolutely. But then again, I mean, even if they were out there lighting it up, I mean, KD, he still gets buckets. So I feel you on that one. I believe I skipped some, so let me see. Mike says Oklahoma 57 bringing it. Okay. And Mike also says, oh, that's the Jay Sanborn, the thing I read on the Draft Watch. And let's see, Ajay Shaq, he's back. All right. He says, all right, KD. Let's see. Okay, what's good, burner? All right, bet. Okay, guys, I think that the chats are starting to show up now for some reason. On the thing here. I don't know what was going on earlier, but I think the chats are starting to finally show up. So we're finally back in business, guys. Let's see. Mike says Oklahoma 21 quick unanswered. And so, Oklahoma scored again. And so, yeah, you had to know that was going to happen with Oklahoma. I mean, heck, they probably planned to let Tulane go ahead and get 14 points just to make it interesting. But, at this point, the waterworks probably for to come out and Oklahoma's probably for to run up that scoreboard at now. But we'll see how things go, because if Tulane scores again, that's going to be really nice. Let's see. How excited am I for Syracuse versus Ohio, 1-10? Full honesty. Let's see. Syracuse versus Ohio. I've always been a fan of the program of Syracuse. The Syracuse Oranges. I mean, they've had some real nice guys go through their program. I believe they've had guys like Donovan McNabb go through there, just thinking about some legendary players that's gone through there. If I'm not mistaken, I think Marvin Harrison as well, if I'm not mistaken, just to name a couple few. So, yeah, Syracuse, I'm definitely hoping that Syracuse continues to improve their, football program, as I want to see them reach the point to where, they can be very competitive. Meanwhile, on 1st and 10, hand the ball off, which is the right call. And look at that, able to go in there and get a good solid 15 yards. I mean, these running backs, they love contact here for Wisconsin. I love the way that they're running with that high energy. But yeah, in terms of 1-10, I give it about a 6. About a 6 in terms of my excitement for Syracuse versus Ohio. I would give that about a 6. Let's see. Mike says so. North Carolina lost where they rank. Yeah, North Carolina lost. And I really want to see how far they're going to drop North Carolina, because that just goes to show that right now North Carolina had no business being ranked that high right now. That could obviously change later in the season. Meanwhile, that was about a 4-yard carry right there, which is going to bring up 2nd and 6. So I love the way that Wisconsin's continuing to run the ball. We won't know what they're ranked until, probably sometime. I'm not sure if there's any Monday games, but so around that, Monday, Tuesday time frame. But we won't know what they're ranked right now because they're still. I know Florida State and Notre Dame, they still have to play Sunday, so we still got to see that one after today, and obviously the other games. So we won't know that yet. But you best believe North Carolina's going to take a dip in the polls. You can bank on that. Meanwhile, running it up the middle, and that is a gain of about 5.5. So I think he's just shy of the first down. That's going to create third and short. And so I've got full confidence that, you've got 2 shots here to get the first down. The way that these Wisconsin running backs are running, you got to keep running it with them. You have to, because this is the strength of their team right now. Let's see. All right, so Mike says, is the run game the same, less, or more important compared to the NFL where it's all about the pass? I honestly say when it comes to college football, the run game is really important. It's really, really important, but it really depends on the team. Meanwhile, they hand the ball up there, and Penn State defense is saying, we are tired of you running the ball against us. So I think he's just shy. And if so, that was an excellent stop right there by Penn State. But I think Wisconsin tried to get a little too fancy on that one. They need to go ahead and hand it to the running back. Let him do what he do. That's the best way for them to win. But yeah, I think honestly, Mike, in situations like this, it really depends on the team. There are some teams that they live or die by the pass. Then there are other teams, they are much more reliant on the ground game. So it really just depends on school to school. Because we have in college football, you're more likely to see things such as like the option or stuff like that, or maybe 3 backs in the backfield. Meanwhile, they snap it on 4th and 1. Did he get the first? That is the question. Okay, he's got the first. I figured he got the first, but man, what a call there. 4th and 1. And yeah, Wisconsin, they need to finish now. We've seen them drive before, so it's very important that they be able to finish on this one. But man, Penn State's defensive line, they put up a fight on the last 2, short yardage ones. So I will give them that. But yeah, I would say the run game. I'll go ahead and say the run game is more important, honestly. I definitely can see that. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining the stream. And you say, can we see the game? If I would have put the game up there, YouTube would snatch this down so quickly, you would have never known that this is up there. And so unfortunately, I do not, have the rights to be able to stream the actual game. So that's why I only put the scoreboard up there and stuff like that, because I don't have the rights to put the actual game up there. YouTube will definitely strike that down from my account. Let's see. Meanwhile, it is 2nd and 10. And Wisconsin throws it, and it is about a yard shy here, about a yard shy. So we're looking at a 3rd and 1. All right, so we're looking at a 3rd and 1 here. Okay, let's see if they're able to get this first down. Quarterback sneak, and I'd have to imagine that he got that one. But let's see what the officials say. All right, so they're saying that he's just shy of it. Are they going to measure this one, or? Yeah, that looks extremely close on that. But yeah, I can see that Penn State is getting better and better at these short yardage in terms of their defense that they're putting out there to stop the run on these situations. Because they pretty much know what Wisconsin's going to do. So if you know it's coming, meanwhile, that's a first. Got to be a first down, Wisconsin Badgers. Let's go. Let's see if they can march it all the way down the field. I projected at the beginning of this game that Wisconsin was going to win this one. So let's see if this will pan out. But yeah, you look at the difference in first downs. I mean, 10-1. Wisconsin has got to be winning that, and they've got to be winning the time of possession category as well, because they are having some long drives, this drive and the last one. But it's no secret what they're doing. I mean, the play selection, 23 runs to now 9 passes. All right, so we're going to get a flag. We've got a flag on the play. Yeah, and anytime you've got a receiver on the ground like that, you better believe it's going to be a flag. Yep, pass interference. So that could be a big call right there, honestly. Now, let's see what happened here. Oh, yeah, you simply can't do that. You just cannot do that. Yeah, he didn't even have an opportunity to turn at and look and try to make a play for the ball. First and 10. All right, so they hand the ball off out the gun. Okay, and he gets about a good 13 yards on the carry. What a run for the first down for Wisconsin. And so he's got 13 carries for 61 yards in this game. And those have been very effective yardage, I should add. And yeah, this offensive line, they are starting to win those battles against the defensive line of Penn State. Now, last time they came to the goal line, it was a penalty that really put them in a bad position and prevented them from capitalizing. So they need to be able to punch it in. They hand it off here, and it's a loss of about 2 yards. Penn State knew that one was coming. So now it's going to be second down. The real test for Wisconsin, if they're going to get in the end zone at some point, they're going to be able to pass the ball. I mean, Mertz, he's going to be able to actually get the ball in the end zone because Penn State's going to be looking for that ground game. But yeah, I mean, the time of possession battle is clearly in Wisconsin's favor in this one. All right, so no backs in the backfield. That's a little different here from Wisconsin. Let's see what they've got in store. 5 wide, snaps the ball, throws it quick. All right, able to get a good about 7 yards on that one because Penn State was bringing the pressure. All right, so that's going to be 3rd and 6. A very important 3rd and 6. I mean, the last field goal attempt they had was blocked by Penn State, so you know they want to get a touchdown in this one. Meanwhile, this could be another huge stop for Penn State. The defense has had to do so much in this one. They've been on the field for a while now. It's a fumble. It's a fumble recovered by Penn State. How do you do that? A simple handoff. Or at least a fake. It looked like he was trying to put it back, and then he fumbled. Wow, what a turnover, guys. What a turnover. Yeah, that was all on the exchange on that one. That was wow. So just like that, Penn State's defense comes up with a big break, and wow. Wisconsin, all that moving the ball, all these first downs, and they've got nothing so far to show for it. If Penn State's offense can only get going, Penn State is very much in a position to capitalize off of that mistake. But man, that is very disappointing. I mean, they did all that work to get in position yet again, 2 times at the goal line, only to fall short and have nothing to show for it in this one. And we're still tied 0-0, folks. I mean, at this rate, we're going to be looking at a very low-scoring game. Let's see. Mike says, dang, Ohio State ranked number 4. Yeah, the Buckeyes ranked number 4, heading into the season. And we'll see, if perhaps they penalize the Buckeyes for having a close game against, Minnesota, maybe bump them down one or something like that. We'll see how everything else plays out. But, yeah, I mean, if they punish us, let's see. Let me check on that Tulane-Oklahoma game. Okay, so Tulane's got another field goal since then. It's 24-14. Yeah, but it's still like a lot of time to go in that second quarter for Oklahoma, so they can very well start to run the table. Let's see. Mike says usually Nebraska is ranked, but not so, beating on some team called Fordham. And so, yeah, last week Nebraska lost to the Fighting Illini. So, yeah, definitely. Nebraska's got some work to do. Nebraska's got a lot of work to do when it comes to where their football program is right now before they end up being in the conversation to be ranked. That is for sure. But, yeah, beating up on Fordham, that is not going to be the way to do it. Guarantee you that. Let's see. Who do I think is better, KD or LeBron? Well, I'll tell you this. I'm a Lakers fan, and who do I think is better right now? Kevin Durant. I love what Kevin Durant can do. I mean, it was very evident. I mean, last year, both guys having to try to carry the team. I know LeBron was coming off an injury and stuff, but look, Kevin Durant, he's amazing in what he does, and so I got to go with Kevin Durant right now. In terms of where they're both at in their careers, definitely Kevin Durant. Let's see. Mike says that is 24-7. Yeah. Okay. So they're beating up, man. Yeah, Fordham. And what quarter is that game in, by the way, against Fordham? But yeah. Let's see. Mike says that Illinois jerseys are sharp. Well, you definitely got to look good, feel good, play good. That's what they are hoping anyways. But absolutely. Let's see. Wow, Michigan is not ranked. Yeah, Michigan, they're not ranked, and they're not going to be until they can find a way to get their offense to produce at a high level consistently. Oh man, what a throw! But he overthrew his guy. But yeah, I mean, I know he took a bit of a hit on that one. It looked like the guy pretty much went for his leg on that play. But that was a nice ability to throw that ball back there, and that's what they need to do against Wisconsin. I'm thinking they're going to have to prove that they can make that pass. If you want Wisconsin to back off and stop, taking away the short stuff, they're going to have to be able to capitalize and throw that ball downfield. And here we are at 2nd and 10, guy in motion, play action fake. Okay, so it's clear that they understand they're going to have to try to do something. And Clifford just goes ahead and scrambles, get the yard, maybe slightly more than a yard off of that play. And yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you at least get a first down, maybe 2, just to help your punter out in terms of just field position at the very least. At the very least. Give me 1 second here, guys. Meanwhile, Clifford drops back. Oh, man, the pressure's coming, and he just throws that one basically just to throw it away, throws it to the running back. That wasn't going to help anybody. He saw the pressure coming, knew he had to get rid of the ball, just got rid of it on that one. So, yeah, Wisconsin's defense has played superb in this one. It seems like the only way that Penn State's going to be able to move the ball in this one, they're going to have to be able to connect on a couple of deep passes and at least get Wisconsin to back off some, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to do that right now. Let's see. And we're looking at a 4th and 11. Apologize about this. All right, so we're going to get ready for the punt here. Let's see. Don't want to skip any. All right, so Penn State's getting ready to punt the ball. All right, what a punt. And, oh, what a hit on that one. What a hit. Is this not like the second time today that this has happened? in this game? Like, what is he doing? Like, this guy just wants to go out there and hit guys, folks. Like, this is just. All right, and while they're talking about that, let's go ahead and go through some of these comments here. Let's see. How long has Durant been in the league? Yeah, Durant's been in the league. I remember when Durant was drafted, same year as Greg Oden. That's about the 2007, 2008 season, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he's been in the league now about 13 years, I'd say. Obviously with Brooklyn, he's been with Brooklyn. Now he didn't really play the 2019-2020 season, but I guess you can count that too. So I'd say 2 years. So, but yeah, he's been in the league about 13 years. Let's see. Fordham into halftime. Bet. Let's see. Mike says Michigan beating up on Western Michigan. What is that score with Western Michigan and Michigan? I mean, wonder what that score is right now. Let's see. Mike says that Leonard is the NBA player that you always hear about. Yeah, I mean, because Kawhi, I mean, just his impact that he's had now. Right now, we know that he's recovering, in terms of his injuries and stuff. So we'll see. I mean, it's a chance that he can definitely play next year, but knowing Kawhi, we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But yeah, we know what Kawhi brings to the table when he's out there. But yeah, definitely one of the best players in the league. No doubt about it. So you say it was all about some guy named Noah or something. Don't know what happened. Let's see. Azure says that you're big when one of KD's burners accounts are on your stream. Exactly. I mean, I was like, am I looking at Twitter right now? Because I know I see him a lot. And so, but yeah, so absolutely. Absolutely. The Edge says that you're watching the Oklahoma versus Tulane right now, and you're surprised at how close it is. Yeah, when I saw earlier that it was 14-14, I mean, I was like, what? Like, really? And so, but yeah, I doubt that's going to last. Oklahoma's probably one touchdown away from making this look ugly again. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Mike says, how much longer do I think LeBron will be playing for? I think that LeBron, he'll probably play for, I'm thinking another 3 seasons is what I'll say. Another 3 seasons. And so I think that's about a good time frame for him. I mean, you get this year, he's got a lot of help, so he can do this year, the year after that, but then the next year will just be that final year where he's like, all right, this will be my last year. And basically, that'll be a wrap. So I think 3 more years is about right for LeBron's career right now. You say that Wisconsin running back, he got feet? Absolutely. But I mean, I'm surprised Wisconsin hasn't been able to score yet. I mean, just the time of possession that they've had in comparison to Penn State, I mean, you've got to score when you've had the ball that much. I mean, all that work that they're doing, but it's just they haven't been able to capitalize on it. Let's see. You say you have accounts watching every sports-related post just to make sure no one is talking bad about you. And if you are, then if they are, then you attack. I feel you. Most definitely. I feel you on that one. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. I absolutely love Kevin Durant's game because the way I look at it as if I could have any of the skills of the top 3 players that get thrown out there right now for, top players in the league and NBA, I definitely want Kevin Durant's skill set for sure about that. I mean, you talk about being clutch. You talk about shooting. I mean, heck, we saw it against Milwaukee. I mean, the way he was able to carry the team, we've seen it so much. So, I mean, definitely KD's skill set for sure. And so we have that carry for 3 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 7. And so these fans, they want to see a score. A bit of a high snap, but he's able to hand it to the running back, and Hey, this running back, he is going hard today, guys. He is fighting for his yards. They have got to finish, though. Like, we've got 3 minutes before on the half. And one thing to keep note of is that Wisconsin did use 2 of their timeouts early in this one. So they've got 1 timeout remaining. Let's see. With North Carolina ranked 10 with that loss, where do I think they will be ranked-wise? I think that, let's see, that's a very good question. That was nearly picked off. If you're Penn State, you got to have that because your offense has not been able to generate anything. So you got to help them out as much as possible. And that would have been big if he was able to pick that off. And that goes to show why Wisconsin's mostly been running the ball. So, yeah, right now, but that would have been so huge for Penn State if they were able to get that. That's one he's going to want back for sure at the end of the day. But with North Carolina, being 10, I take it that there's not going to be a lot of teams that get upset, I guess. But, I mean, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, though, in terms of how the rest of the teams play. But once we see how the rest of those teams look, I say they probably still drop maybe about – still in the top 20 for sure, but maybe around – I don't know, about maybe between – like I think lower than 15 because I don't see too many teams that's, a little bit behind them that's going to be losing. But we'll have to see how the rest of the games go. So I think about 15, 16. Because that's a game they should not have lost. Should not have lost. Let's see. Mike says, my bad. His name was okay, Zion. Yeah, Zion Williamson. Oh, yeah. Love the kid's game. Love his potential, definitely a fan of his for sure. And I'm excited to see, his future in terms of Zion Williamson. So that's definitely someone to watch in the future moving forward. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's see. Ajasak says that JB praising KD so he doesn't mass dislike all his videos with his thousands of social media accounts. You are funny. You are funny. I mean, you are funny. But no, I mean, like the way that I see it, I mean, like, if a guy's got talent, he's got talent. If he's got the skill, he's got the skill. So everybody's got to make the decisions that's best for them in life. So I mean, I don't like the Clippers at all, but I mean, I will talk highly of Kawhi Leonard as well. Because I mean, when it comes down to it, the guy can ball. So if you can ball, you can ball. And if I could have KD skill set, I mean, give me that. I will take that. Meanwhile, Mertz throws it under pressure, and he's able to get maybe a yard out of that. But, I mean, that does nobody no good right now. And so now we're faced with a 4th down, 4th and 10. So, yeah, both of these offenses are taking a while to get cranked up. We've seen the run game work for Wisconsin, but they have not been able to capitalize. No reason why they don't have any points on the board right now. That's just not being able to finish when executing. Let's see. Mike says that Durant's very self-cautious. And Mike says he hopes that he's okay. And let's see. Kevin says, nah, man, I'm just that good. Just that good. There you go. Just that good. Let's see. So we're looking at a 4th and 10. About 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining to go in this one. I mean, both defenses have been playing really good. I mean, I figured that it'd be a defensive match with it being the first game of the season. Obviously, there's a lot of things that have to be worked out. New guys, first time starting on the big stage, might be a little nervous on the offensive side of the ball. But, man, I mean, yeah, we're getting a complete defensive showcase in this one. Penn State still has 2 timeouts to go in this one and about 2 minutes remaining in this game. So let's see if they can get 3 points before the half, some kind of points to get some momentum going. Because right now, when it comes to Penn State's offense, their offense is not showing any forms of life whatsoever. Not passing-wise, not running-wise. It's just been a mess right now for Penn State's offense. So let's see if they can correct that here. And the punt return takes it out to about the 30-yard line. There is a flag, however. As Shaq says that these fake burner accounts always cracked me up. Let's see what this penalty is going to be. Penn State does not need any. They do not need any penalties against them right now, guys. They do not need any penalties against them. Let's see. Mike says it's easier to cut players and less expensive, I guess, for Penn State no names on the jersey. And so, let's see. Well, I will say this, when it comes to college football, with the whole no names on the jerseys and stuff, or either just, you buy one jersey and then as a fan, at least if you buy a jersey, I mean, college players come and go. So you buy a jersey one year, then maybe a couple of years down the road, that jersey will be really valuable. So if it doesn't have a name on it, then everybody just think that it's the jersey number of that player. So I guess it kind of works out that way for college football. Let's see. Ajax says that Oklahoma's playing great right now. It's only Tulane, but they still are playing great. And so, yeah, I was hoping that the game would have been close to see if Desmond Howard still would have been, as critical of Oklahoma as he was with Ohio State. But it doesn't seem the game's going to stay that close. I forgot. I skipped this one, but let's see. Mike says, not impressed with Penn State quarterback as of right now. Yeah, let's see if he can lead some type of, I'm going to say 1 minute offense, really. As they hand the ball off, and they're going to be short. They're going to have to punt the ball, and let's see if Wisconsin's going to have enough time. If I was Wisconsin, I'd call a timeout immediately. But they're not going to do it. Yeah, I would probably call the timeout immediately. Let's see. Mike says, that's a really good thought. Never thought of that. Is that a thing with the jerseys? Well, honestly, because sometimes I guess if it's a marquee player, then yeah, I would probably prefer to have their name on the jersey. But for like if it was Saquon back when he was with Penn State, then that's probably a name you want to put there. Historically speaking, Vince Young, Reggie Bush, something like that. But in general, if you just buy a jersey with just the number as a fan in college football, and that guys are going to come and go throughout that school, then hey, sometimes you're going to end up getting lucky to where your number is going to be a very popular one, especially if you see a lot of the top guys typically wear that jersey number. Then yeah, just buy the jersey, no name, and that is a big I think flex in terms of being able to have that jersey, because each year it's going to represent somebody different, or each couple years. So that's just my thought process when it comes to that. Let's see. Mike says that Sean Clifford on Penn State step it up. He needs to. He needs to. So hopefully they'll come out in the second half, do a little bit better than this. But right now, Wisconsin, in my opinion, has looked like the better team, but they have not been able to capitalize, and they've made some critical mistakes when they've had opportunities to capitalize. And that's why right now it is anybody's game in this one. So both teams are going to go into the half. Defenses are going to get some praise, but the offenses, they are going to have to make some adjustments here, especially Penn State's offense. All right, so they punt the ball here. Let's see if we'll get a return. All right, so we're going to get a return on this one. All right, so you can step about the 31. All right, so they've got 56 seconds, but Wisconsin's got no timeouts, because they used 2 timeouts early in that first quarter. Like one timeout I think was like the second or third play of the game. Mike says that he needs to reload on his Bills gear, need the flex. Yeah, I need to look at some, Mac Jones jerseys and stuff and see for the Pats here, that might not be a bad idea. It might not be a bad idea at all. Let's see. Mike says no scoring in a college game and 2 ranked teams, unacceptable. Both of these teams, their defenses are going to have to lead the way for them right now. And usually this time of the year in the past, they usually would open up with a relatively easy opponent to get the offense going, until they get some chemistry, get some weeks under their belt. Because unlike the NFL, they're not out there, playing preseason games and stuff to get everybody warmed up. So they got to go out there and just, try to get guys ramped up throughout, obviously all the training and stuff, the practices, and try to get them ramped up that way. But that's hard to simulate an actual game setting, especially for the offense out there. But you're right though. A 0-0 game, that's all on Wisconsin though. They had some opportunities twice being in that goal line. All right, so they're going to run the ball here and take this one to halftime. Let's see. All right, so give my thoughts about the Patriots shopping the amazing Gilmore. It's about money moves. That's what it's all about. Knowing Bill Belichick and the Patriots for as long as I have, since I've been watching football, especially when it comes to marquee cornerbacks, it's all about, pennies and dimes and stuff. Although this year, I think Bill's putting more of an effort than he typically would. Say if this was a year that we still had Tom Brady for the past, then he typically would not, make this type of effort to try to appease Gilmore, because what he wants is Gilmore to finish out this year. Afterwards, Gilmore's probably as good as traded anyways. But Gilmore wants to get paid money. And so right now, Bill Belichick, he's always going to do what he thinks is best for the future of the team. And even if that means, having to trade a guy who's, still in his prime before he ends up paying a guy that's not in his prime. So he will see what the market value is. And if he likes it, he'll pull the trigger on it. I've seen Bill do it countless times. Countless times. All right, so we've got a 3rd and 4. Okay, so they're going to look to pass the ball. And he throws it, and it's pretty much, he was just trying to run out the clock on that one there, because you can tell by the amount of air that he had under the ball. Just throw that ball away. And so now we're officially at halftime here. The number 19 Penn State versus number 12 Wisconsin. Both teams scoreless after the first half. So, wow, that just goes to show. Both teams defensively have been looking great, especially Wisconsin's defense. They have not been giving up really anything in this one. So Penn State's got a lot of adjustments they're going to need. Both teams' quarterbacks, they need better play from their quarterbacks. That part is very obvious. Both teams, they need better play from the quarterback position in this one, if we're going to start to see some points on the scoreboard. So far in this one, Sean Clifford, he is 7 of 14, 41 yards. He had his one opportunity on that deep pass that he sort of overthrew the receiver by some yards. And I feel like if he gets that completion, he needs stuff like that to make Wisconsin back up, because they can't run the ball because Wisconsin's looking for it. They can't throw those quick passes because Wisconsin's too quick. They're getting there. I'm seeing some nice speed and the way that they're hustling for Wisconsin to get after the ball, and then how they're getting after the quarterback. Sean Clifford's not having much time back there. And then you look at the running game. Your leading rusher so far in this one is Sean Clifford. He ran the ball 3 times for -3 yards. Well, in terms of rushing attempts, Kane, he's ran the ball 2 times for 3 yards. Lee 2 carries 1 yard. Nobody's able to get anything. The whole team just has 2 yards on the ground for Penn State. So think about that. 2 yards on the ground for Penn State. And you're not getting much through the air. You only got 41 yards throughout the air. So right now, they are not looking good at all on offense, at all. And you think back to last year for Penn State. They came off to such a slow start last year, and it took a couple games before they actually started getting rolling last year. They cannot afford to come out to a slow start like that again. Just can't do it. And then you look at Wisconsin. Mertz, he's 7 of 12. My thing with Mertz is when he's at the red zone and they need him to make a play, he's not making the plays. He's right now, overthrowing guys. He seems to be throwing the ball away, which is good. He had that one fumble earlier that Penn State, on the handoff, exchange that cost Wisconsin on that second possession. They did have a field goal that was blocked, so that you can't put that on the offense, but still, there's no excuse to be at the goal line twice and have 0 points for it. Nothing to show for, especially with as much time as they take off the clock with their offense. But then you look at the ground game for them, and as a team, they've had already 31 carries as a team for 90 yards. So, that's pretty good right there. And if they can continue to do that, they're going to continue to keep finding holes in this one. It's just a matter of time before they actually start putting points on the board. So Penn State has got to have some urgency when they come out. They tried a couple things with the tempo. It's hard to get the tempo going, though, whenever you go out there and you keep going 3 and out, or you get a first down and that's it. They're losing the battle across the board when it comes to what Penn State's offense is doing. So they're going to have to improve upon that big time. in the second half. All right, let's go to the comment section here. So Mike is hoping that the Bills blank check him. So you basically want him to go back to Buffalo. I don't know if that would happen for Gilmore, but I mean, yeah, because first of all, the Patriots aren't going to make no trade with Buffalo, especially within the division of Buffalo. So that part would just be nearly impossible to take place. I don't know what kind of offer you'd have to still send Bill Belichick for that to happen. Let's see. Mike says running back Ches. Yeah, absolutely. He looks pretty good for Wisconsin. He has been the bright spot of this game, honestly. He has been really big, and they're going to have to continue to utilize him. I know he has 17 carries in this one, but they're going to have to continue to use him. Him and Garoto, who's got 6 carries for 30 yards, they're going to have to keep using those two because that's what's working. That's what's working, particularly when they go big up front. Now, obviously, when it's, like short yardage situation in Penn State, know that they're fit to run the ball. It's a lot more tougher there. But just moving the ball wise, they've got a really solid plan, honestly, because they're getting absolutely, I'll say, the bare minimum from their passing game. They're not really getting too much from their passing game. I mean, Mertz is throwing for only 1 more yard than what Clifford is throwing. And so both of these guys have not looked that impressive in the first half. Let's see. You said Jack Sunburn is kind of good. Oh, yeah. I mean, this whole, Wisconsin's defense is looking good out there, but absolutely. Absolutely. And here we are at halftime. The score is still tied 0 across the board here. Both teams defensively going after a lot of pressure generated. And yeah, either team, every time they end up in a position where, especially with Wisconsin, where they can get some points. I mean, they've made some mistakes. We've seen a lot of, balls getting tipped, whether we're talking field goals at the line of scrimmage, just a couple mistakes and stuff as well that you see typically early on in the season. So we'll have to see which team's going to come out in the second half and makes the correct adjustments here, because for Penn State, it's simple. You're going to have to start hitting on some deep passes, I think, to try to open up and get this defense to back off, because there's no way they're going to be able to really run the ball with the way that Wisconsin's playing defensively. You're playing into their strength, so they're going to have to be able to hit on some deep passes, and that's only going to work if Sean Clifford is able to step into his throws and get the ball there on the money. That's going to be their best bet, so we'll see how that works out for them. And as for Wisconsin, it's simple. Keep running the ball like you're doing. It's just when you get in those key situations and you need for Mertz to make a play, Mertz has got to find a way, some way to make the play and make it happen at wide receiver in order for that to happen. We're going to have to wait and see which team's going to be able to make those adjustments. Let's see. Meanwhile, just taking a look at that Oklahoma game, I see Oklahoma, they're up 34-14 now. So now they've woken up, and this could be a very long second half for Tulane. Absolutely. But we'll see how things continue to unfold with them. Let's see. Let's see. So you don't remember seeing anything from Jake Ferguson? I've seen Ferguson's name come up a couple times in this game, actually. I mean, Ferguson, he's got 5 catches for 27 yards. He's the leading receiver for the Wisconsin Badgers. And overall, he's got the most receptions in this game so far. And so it's just obviously when your team's only passing for 42 yards, I mean, yeah, that goes to show he's not really getting a lot of yards from it. But yeah, he's still getting catches, though. 5 catches, 27 yards. Let's see. Ajasak says, do I think Ben Simmons would fit on the Spurs? I mean, the only way that I would, like, just looking at it from like the positive aspect for it, I feel like he does need to go somewhere where the team does not have immediate playoff aspirations, but he can go there and contribute a team that is trying to rebuild themselves. So I do think that going there, benefiting from the coaching of Greg Popovich, of course, I think that would definitely benefit, Ben Simmons. to be on a team like the Spurs, I think. Because right now, I don't think he needs to go to a situation where there's a lot of pressure right now. I mean, right now, he just needs to go back to the basics and be able to just go out there, have fun again, play basketball, and then have the kind of expectations that he had, throughout the regular season. And then with the coaching, of a Greg Popovich and stuff, then he'll continue to make improvements. So I think I could see it. I say I could see it. Now what the Spurs, would give up to get him, that's a whole entirely different conversation. Okay, so Adishak thinks that this would personally be a good place for him. And so, yeah, I find it very interesting how it seems like he does not necessarily want to be 76ers, but it seems like, from the reports that I read, that Joel Embiid may have, a different idea when it comes to that. So we'll see how that situation play out, though. Let's see. Adishak says the Spurs have a great shooting coach. It would give him a chance to lead his own team, which would help him gain confidence. And so, yeah, I definitely think that, he definitely would benefit, tremendously from that. I mean, because, right now, just take this man, just have him just rebuild his confidence. It's like I say whenever I'm talking about football players, such as, a guy like Carson Wentz or something like that, where maybe, over the last couple of seasons, his confidence may have been shattered. I would say the same thing for Sam Darnold as well. But that there is, some potential there. Sometimes just a matter of going to a situation and finally being comfortable with that situation and being in a position to where, just everything around you, there's not too much pressure, but there's better, tools around you, and in this case for Ben Simmons, shooting coaches that can help you, and then the experience and stuff. So just stuff to get him confidence, to get him going, that could really bode well for his career, because I mean, it really did hurt his, value for what happened in the playoffs. But, we've seen Ben Simmons, outside of the playoffs. So we know that he's not, that bad. I don't know what was going on. I can't speak to that. But that clearly, something was clearly wrong. So maybe a change of scenery and going, as you say, to a team that, can certainly use him and let him, I guess, really have his own team. It could bode well for him. Most definitely. Let's see. Most definitely, but a great question for sure. My question for you guys is, which game are you guys looking forward to the most that's going to come on later today? I know we've got some good ones coming on later today. I mean, obviously, the biggest one, in my opinion, is the Clemson-Georgia game. But you also have the Bama versus Miami game. So definitely let me know in the chat section which games are you looking forward to. And, also who do you guys have winning, particularly that Georgia and Clemson game. And also, Miami versus Alabama. And I feel like this is perhaps one of the best, like week one matches that I've seen in quite some time, because usually when we have week one, we're stuck watching a lot of different things. Let's see, how is that Michigan and Western Michigan game going? Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Ajasak says, Alabama. You're excited to see Bryce Young play for Bama. Yes, we're all excited to see Bryce Young, especially after those, NILs that, he agreed to and stuff. So I definitely am excited to see what he's going to do for Bama this year. Of course, how could you talk about college football and not mention, Bama for sure? So absolutely going to be looking to see, how this team looks. We know that they lose a lot of guys every year to the draft and they just reload each and every time. So we're going to see firsthand how they do. And they're going to come up against, Miami. I'm really going to be looking to see how Miami's going to look this year. Is it going to be something that they can keep this game close? Is it going to turn out to be, one-sided? I'm really going to be evaluating this Miami team for sure. And what better way to evaluate them than to open up against Alabama? So we'll see for sure. But I will tell you this, though. The ACC has certainly taken some hits. They have really taken some hits in terms of so far. I mean, I saw Duke, they took a L, and then North Carolina losing. I mean, the ACC right now, they need Clemson to win against Georgia, because if Georgia beats Clemson and then Miami gets blown out, the ACC as a conference, they're going to be in a bunch of trouble right now in terms of just, I know it's just the opening week, but that is not how you want to open up for a conference in terms of just, out of play You can't have stuff like that happen. You need your top teams to be able to actually get you some W's. Let's see. Mike says Louisiana versus Texas is not bad. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing, Steve Sarkisian and see how he's going to do for Texas. I'm excited for him. I think that he's going to be great for this program. But, I mean, every year we see great signings, and we'll have to wait and see if this is going to pan out for sure or not. But I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. No doubt about that in my mind. I am looking forward to seeing that one. No doubt about it. Let's see. And while we are here at halftime, just want to take this time to thank each and every person for joining the stream. Really appreciate you guys so much for joining me here. I mean, I know the score still says 0-0, but maybe the second half will show us something that we haven't seen in the first half for sure. But appreciate you guys so much and for the support. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, guys, if you haven't subscribed. I'll be doing a lot of live streams this year. It's college football, NFL, even NBA, college hoops. All that on one channel. So guys, definitely do consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. Really would appreciate that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Let's see. Azashak says that he's interested to see how Texas plays without Sam. Yeah, so now that Sam is with the Indianapolis Colts, it will be interesting to see how Texas is going to look. You bring up a very great point because obviously we know how it is once you transition from one quarterback to the next. So it's going to be really fun to see, the Longhorns this year and who they're going to have in their quarterback in terms of how he's going to perform this year. And so that is certainly and it's going to be a great test, against Louisiana on the Raging Cajuns. I'm looking forward to it. And so this is the first time that they enter the season ranked in the AP poll in program history for Louisiana. So they're excited about this year. They're going to want to open up with a road win down there in Texas too. Oh, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And then returning 20 of 22 starters. Oh, man. And then they went 10-1 last year. Give me Louisiana in this matchup. Give me Louisiana. I'm sold. Give me Louisiana. Let's see. I just asked if Joe Milton is still starting for Michigan. Let me check that really quickly because that's a very good question. Let me see. Because I want to say yes, but let me see. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. All right, let's see. All right, so actually the starting quarterback for Michigan is a guy by the name of Cade McNamara. So, and he's got 2 touchdowns in this one, 8 of 10. So it seems they got a different quarterback this year. So that's going to be interesting to see. And from just a couple of highlights I was able to see, I mean, it looks like he, got good ball placement on a deep ball. So we're going to have to see how that works out. Scottish says that he reminds me of Cam Newton. He runs really throws a deep, tough run. Really runs tough and throws deep really well for the games that you've seen. Okay, that's a good comparison there. Let's see. Okay, so he went to Tennessee. Interesting. Did not know that. So he went to Tennessee. Nice. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that ended up transferring that I'm probably a little bit behind on, especially when it comes to college football and how the roster's constantly changing. But yeah, that is good for him down there in Tennessee. They certainly can use him. But yeah, as an Ohio State Buckeye fan, I am definitely gonna be looking forward to when we do play Michigan and beat them again this year. Really looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, I'm really going to be looking throughout, this year to see who's going to really be some of the top candidates, at quarterback. I mean, we know that North Carolina's quarterback was being, thrown in there in terms of just being one of the favorites. But my goodness, I mean, starting off with an opening loss against Virginia Tech, that's really tough. That's really tough. Seems like, the usual North Carolina to me when it comes to football. Let's see. As Ashak says, that college is way harder to follow because of the rosters constantly changing. At some point, I just give up on keeping track of the rosters. Yeah, college football, rosters change a lot. I feel that way, especially about college basketball, because I mean, my goodness, like the changes that transpire, it's just so hard there. But you're right, because football is a lot more players. And even though some guys will be there 2-3 years, I mean, sometimes they could be on the bench for 2 years and start a third year transfer. There's a lot of movement that happens in college football. So it is really hard to keep track of what's going on with each team roster. I will say that. So yeah, so that's why, anytime I get a roster question, you're probably going to see me try to Google to see, like where they at now. Oh, yeah. Ready for this second half to get started. Yeah, I don't know how he fumbled that ball on that handoff exchange. We're talking about Mertz when Wisconsin was at their second drive. That was near the thing. But my goodness, look at the difference in time of possession that Wisconsin had. I mean, 21 seconds and 21 minutes and 29 seconds, whereas Penn State just had it 8 minutes and 31 seconds. My goodness, you're talking about the difference in total yards and time of possession. That was the key. Wisconsin, they are doing everything that you would draw up. You're winning the field position battle. They are winning the time of possession battle, and they're definitely winning when it comes to the yards and stuff. The only thing that they're not doing is finishing, and that's the most important part because without that, everything else doesn't matter. So that's what they've got to do: figure out a way to finish. Meanwhile, Penn State with the kickoff, and we are back live with the second half of this game. And there will be no return here. So the ball's going to be taken out to the 25-yard line. And let's see how this goes. So it's time to see what type of adjustments each team's going to make. And this is certainly going to be a game that's about adjustments for a team to give themselves an edge because, hey, you score once, that might be enough to win this game. So we're going to have to see. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. Wisconsin, let's see. Mertz up on the center. They've got the heavy formation. Hands it off. They're able to get a yard off of that one. It's going to be 2nd and 9. All right, so we're looking at 2nd and 9. All right, they're lining up in the gun. Snaps it. Mertz is looking. He throws it. Nice throw. Nice throw. Going to be a yard short, but that was a nice pass. Now, if they can get, him to consistently do that, that's great. And you notice one thing I am noticing when it comes to Mertz, the completions that he is getting right now, he's not giving these guys an opportunity to be able to turn around and extend for that first down. If you throw that ball just a little bit higher, then maybe he has an opportunity to turn around and at least fall forward for the first down. It's little things like that you have to notice. All right, they've got a lot of men up front here. Hand the ball off to the back. And did he get stopped? It seemed like he was starting to already lose his balance before he got to the line. And Wisconsin's unable to convert there. Penn State with the stop. Let's see. Given where they are right now on the field, one would have to think that they're just going to punt the ball. I mean, this is really no need to gamble it right now simply because both defenses have been tremendous right now. So you got to continue to trust your defense. And that's exactly what Wisconsin's going to do. They're going to go ahead and punt the ball. All right, so they punt. Let's see where this ends up at. Fair catch. Made it about the 13-yard line. Let's see. Do I like the trade the Nets made for Soku and Okafor? I mean, do I like the trade? I mean, it depends on, which aspect, I'm looking from it for. But I'd say, I mean, I can't say I'm the hugest fan of it, but I guess so. I'll put it that way. That's about where I stood when I saw it, when I was looking at it. It's like, I guess. Meanwhile, what a snap, and he throws it out there. Yeah, and it's going to be – oh, my gosh, and the coach ends up getting involved in that one. Imagine that being on the sideline and then just randomly getting the player to run into you. All right, 2nd and 1. They clearly want to be up-tempo. Snaps the ball. Throws another quick pass for about almost 5 yards. Probably about 5. And they definitely want to keep this going. Any form of life for Penn State, that's what we want. Let's see. Clifford's looking. He throws. Catches it. Another first down. Okay, so they're starting to come out. And they've clearly made some adjustments. And it seems to be working right now. Let's see if this continues. And if they'll be able to get some points on the board on this drive. Clifford has it out the gun. And they blow this. They're going to stop the play. All right, so we're still looking at 1st and 10 here. Let's see, 2 receivers on each side. At the top of the screen, at the bottom. We know they've been throwing a lot of quick passes, so they may trying to get the defense to spread out here. And that's exactly what the game plan is. Get the defense to spread out for Wisconsin. All right, he fakes it, he throws it, and it is incomplete. But a flag on the play. A flag can change everything, guys. I mean, yeah, Penn State, this is by far their best drive of the game. By far. So if I'm Penn State, you have to score something here. You absolutely have to. Yep, that's going to be placed at the spot of the foul. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one right there. You cannot give away freebies like that. You just can't do it. Penn State is in the gun. Snaps the ball, fakes it to the back. Running back does a good job of giving him some time. He's open deep for the touchdown. What a pass. Touchdown, Penn State. And we finally see some points on the board. And that's Jahan Dotson there with the reception. Puts 6 points on the board. Clifford hitting this guy deep. I said it earlier. For Penn State, they're going to have to be able to stretch this defense of Wisconsin's out. I saw it earlier in the game when he threw the ball and he overthrew his receiver. It was there. He just overthrew him. But this time, able to connect. And as you can see, I mean, the safety even creeped up on that play because they've been running the ball and throwing it short so much. that was all on the safety on that play, number 9. That was all on him. He let that play get behind him, and he didn't even pay attention to it, really. Extra point is good. So Penn State is currently up 7-0. Let's see. Addersack says, which team do I think is better, the Heat or Bulls? You says you're biased. I mean, I am sure you know. Oh, I know who you were picking that. And if anybody doesn't know, he definitely would take the Bulls in that one. For me personally, I feel that if I had to say who was better, I'd have to look at head-to-head matchup. Best of 7. Who do I feel most confident in terms of winning? I think it would be close, but I would probably have to give the edge probably to Miami. I think Jimmy Butler and company, the way that they play great defense and company, I just gotta go with the Heat in that scenario. But it's really close, really, really close. And so obviously that can change throughout the season. But as of right now, I'd have to go Heat. And I really like how, especially how the Heat's, defensively, how they look as a unit. I really love that. So they've got some pieces there that can really play some lockdown defense. And, Jimmy Butler, he's going to have them guys playing at a higher level. So got to go Heat in that scenario. But as a Shaq, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Bulls. And so, I mean, hey, you definitely have a strong case for them. Absolutely. Let's see, what else is going on around the league? Let's see, you say that receiver Dotson, is it showed up? And so, I mean, Dotson, yeah, he finally showed up in this one, and what a perfect time to show up, come out. First possession out of halftime after going scoreless in the first, and to finally be able to get a touchdown. So maybe now this will wake up Penn State's offense, and we'll actually have that. But if you're Wisconsin, you got to be feeling hurt. You played so great defensively, up in the first half, and your offense, had every potential to have you in a position to have the lead in this one, and you still haven't scored yet. So we'll see how Wisconsin, is able to come out. But now that Penn State scored, you have to think the focus will be even that much more for the offense to go on down there and try to score for the Wisconsin Badgers. So we'll see if they'll be able to do just that. But yeah, that's exactly what Penn State needed to do, to be able to air it out. Because, clearly Wisconsin was going to stop that run game. So, I mean, if one thing's not working, you got to be able to rely on your guys to capitalize, especially through the pass. I mean, that's going to be important, very important, if they want to have the type of season that they believe that they can have. Let's see. Azashak says that Portland had a very underwhelming of an off season. They didn't do anything at all, really. And so, I mean, I have to say, yeah, Portland. I mean, considering all the talk surrounding, Dame, if you'd asked me what's going to be one of the teams going to be most active in the offseason, I'd tell you without doubt Portland. Just heading into the offseason, I'd tell you that Portland would have been one of the more active teams. But it's like you said, they didn't really do too much, honestly. They really didn't. All right, so Wisconsin's looking, and oh, what a hit. What a hit. What a hit on that one. So they were unable to, I mean, that play was just going to take too long. And the way that Penn State's coming after this, especially since the offense just scored, so the defense now have that much more energy now. Yeah, that is just not working for Wisconsin. They run the ball inside, and man, what a run on that one. All right, so yeah, they can count on him. Whenever in doubt, you can count on him. And we've got a Penn State player down. I believe he was down earlier in the game, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Seattle says it's pretty bad. Their best bet at a big roster move now is Ben or come on, Azashak. Those guys do not want to hear that right now. That those two would be one of the biggest roster moves. They do not want to hear that. Ben Simmons or Kevin Love. So don't do that to the Portland fan base. Let's see. Mike says that he thinks he got the air knocked out with the clotheslines. There you go. So let's see. Yeah, so now that Penn State has scored on the board, will Wisconsin be able to respond to that? That is the question. That is the question. Yeah, I was just taking a glance at the halftime score for Oklahoma, 37-14. It's very clear that they just came out to a slow start. No doubt about that. Let's see. Ajasak says that as a Dame and Bulls fan, never would I have guessed we would be better than Portland, especially this soon. And so, yeah, Portland's got a lot going on, a lot of stuff that they need to figure out. And, hey, I mean, if you're going to take that next leap, sometimes you got to be able to take a chance at this point. And I don't feel that they put themselves in the best position to contend for a title moving forward. They knew they had limitations. It's going to take more than the coaching change to fix that. But we will see, of course, once the regular season starts, how things play out. But it's hard to imagine this team doing much better than what they did, basically last year and what they've basically been consistently doing. So we'll have to see what Portland does. But, yeah, I'm not liking their odds to, instantly become championship contenders at this point. I feel like, of course, they're a playoff team. They're a pretty good team, but they still need to make some key moves for that organization for sure, without doubt. I see they're already hyping up next week matchup, Oregon and Ohio State. Let's see. All right, so Mike says the LSU versus UCLA tonight. Yeah, I'm hearing some good stuff about LSU's team, so I'm excited because, I think it's going to be a good game, between LSU, UCLA. It's going to be a good one. Chip versus Big Ed. That's going to be a nice one to watch, I think. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Meanwhile, Wisconsin hands the ball off. All right, we got about a good 3-4 yards there, probably about 3 yards. All right, so it's going to be 2nd and 7. All right, so Wisconsin's going to line up in the gun. Mertz has it. He's looking, and he throws it. Yeah, and it seems like after every pass that Mertz does get completed, the receivers are constantly always having to hit the ground, honestly, after the catch. So they're not able to get a lot of yards after the catch. And right now, Wisconsin, they need every yard they can get. Let's see. Ajasak would say, he says, I would say Boston or San Antonio. They both have historic NBA franchises. Oh, yeah, you want to talk about historic franchises? Those two teams definitely come to mind. And what a pass by Mertz to get that first down there and then some. And that's Davis the third with the reception on that one. And Wisconsin fans are standing up, clapping for that because they've waited pretty much, I feel like, almost all game just to have a good completion. I mean, my goodness, like it just took forever. Let's see. You said the oldest NBA player that I currently can think of. That is a very good question. I mean, because everybody that I can think of, they recently retired and stuff. So I'm trying to think the oldest current basketball player who would be older than Bron right now that's still currently playing. At the top of my mind right now, I cannot think of who is the oldest player that's currently playing right now in the NBA that's older than Bron. That's a very good question because a lot of those guys, they became coaches that I can probably think of recently. So that's a good question. Very good question. Let's see. Wisconsin runs it. And they get the first down. Let's see. And Ajashak to the rescue. That's right. Udonis Haslam. How could I forget the man who should be coaching now, but he's still on the roster, even though he doesn't get to the games honestly at all. And we've got a 1st and 10, folks. We're 1st and 10. Let's see if Wisconsin can finish now. Mike says, nice move on that Wisconsin run. Okay. And another carry, and this time it's probably just a gain of a yard on that one. So we're going to be looking at about 2nd and 9. All right, let's see what they're going to do here. And they've got Pryor in at tailback. All right, 2nd and 9. Mertz is up under center. Has it. He throws it. Oh, what a catch that was. That's a dangerous one with Ferguson with the reception, but that was dangerous, guys. I mean, he very well easily could have thrown the ball. Like the way that he had that ball out there, if I'm the linebacker, I try to make a play for that ball myself. But he went for the hit. But luckily for Wisconsin, he was able to secure that one. Let's see. Ajacek says that San Antonio is 7th biggest city, I think. They need an NFL team. Austin, Texas, trying to take the Bills. Touchdown, Wisconsin. And just like that, they opened up a lane for him, and he was able to capitalize. And so, I mean, Malusa, who better to score this touchdown for Wisconsin than Malusa out there at running back? What a carry there. And he's been running hard all game long. So, touchdown, Wisconsin. And guys, I mean, it was always a game, but we've got an exciting one here. So there you have it. I mean, Malusa's got 24 carries for 94 yards, and of course, a touchdown now. But yeah, he's really been moving up the rock in this one. And they get ready to try to tie it up with a PAT. And it is good. So both teams in the second half made adjustments offensively and were able to find the end zone. And so goes to show that, yeah, in the first game, you're going to see a lot of teams continue to make improvements as time goes on. Players start getting more comfortable with their new roles, different teammates, different assignments, all that stuff, in live settings. And so there you go. 7 all up, 7 apiece. Let me see something. All right, let's see what we got next. All right, so Mike says, how old is Haslam? Let's see. Haslam has got to be about If I had to guess, I'd say about what, 41, I think. I think he's like 41, if I'm not mistaken. 41 or 42, but I think it's 41. Let's see. Mike says he liked that Wisconsin prior. Okay. And hey, I mean, I know Mike is always out there looking to see what he can do for his Bills in terms of, future investments at that running back position lately, it seems. But yeah, that prior guy, absolutely. Okay, I just check. It says see like 40, 43 now. Let's see. All right, so Mike says it's Malusi or whatever. Is he good? I feel that, well, definitely, yeah, definitely. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was behind Clem, down there in Clemson behind Travis Etienne for about 2 years. I think they said at the beginning of the game. So yeah, I would have to say, yeah, if that's who you were behind, then yeah, he very well is good in this one. So this is a good thing for Wisconsin. We know they love to run the ball, so he's in the right place for the right system and great opportunity to make sure that we all know his name and who he is by the end of the college football season. Let's see. Mike says, interesting. You can play NBA for a long time if you can stay in shape. And so, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot more guys, I think, in the NBA that's, in terms of percentage wise, that are able to play into their mid to late 30s, I will say, in comparison to the NFL players. So, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Ajashak says that's very true. You can last in the NBA to your late 30s, early 40s. Yeah, most definitely. Especially, I mean, it's just a matter of not having that drop off, and then if you're used to being a full time starter or even a star, are you willing to take that adjustment? And maybe if the team asks you to be a role player, if they ask you to come off the bench and provide a spark, if they ask you to take, like sometimes, maybe a little less than you're accustomed to taking, if you're willing to make those sacrifices, you can definitely extend your career in the NBA for sure. But yes, we're all tied up 7 apiece. Mike says the Bills do need a running back. Absolutely. Running back, throw tight end in there as well. Another DB. Meanwhile, Penn State takes it out and they're about at the 20-yard line here. So let's see if they can follow up on their scoring drive last time. Let's see. Mike says, let's see. Brady said that they are going to they're going too easy on the hits now. Offensive players need to practice more safety. I did hear one thing about that. I didn't read or hear, directly from, Brady, but I did hear something about that. And so, I mean, I get what he's saying. I mean, because sometimes, as the quarterback, if you see a situation coming, because it's really hard for a defensive player, particularly if you're a safety, you line up, go full speed, because you have to go full speed. Otherwise, you'll never get there. Meanwhile, this pass by Sean is incomplete. I mean, Sean Clifford just threw that ball up there, incomplete. Nobody was able to get to it, but that's okay. If you're going to throw it incomplete, throw it where nobody can get it. So it's going to be 2nd and 10. And yeah, he's pretty much going to have to take a larger role here in that second half than what he had in the first half, for sure. And so, yeah, offensive players need to practice, more safety. And so, I mean, yeah, the definition of a defenseless receiver has definitely, I think, been a little bit more lenient than it probably should be. But I mean, obviously, if they're defenseless, then there's not much that they can do. But if it's something that they can do, if there's something that they can do to move out the way or position themselves better, then yeah, I'm right there with you. Like and with Brady as well in that scenario, but only in certain scenarios. Mike says he wants to see Penn State get that lead back. Well, here we are at 3rd and 10. Let's see if Penn State has what it takes to get a first down here. They have been 1 of 7 the entire game. The entire game when it comes to first downs. 1 of 7. So they're lining up in a shotgun formation. Wisconsin sends 4. Clifford looks, he throws it deep, and it's caught. Clifford, he's out there hitting dimes now. I mean, he went from overthrowing a guy in the first half to now he's getting dimes left and right out here in the second half. I mean, yeah, number 3 gave 21 just enough of a hesitation to keep him out of the play. But yeah, Wisconsin needs their safety to step it up in this one. He's pretty much been out of position this entire game. They go deep again. That's going to be incomplete. All right, 2nd down and 10. All right, so they're in the shotgun formation. Going to be a flag. Going to be a flag on that play. And while we get ready for the flag, let's see. Mike says that I have the Cowboys, ranked a lot higher. I know I no longer think the Giants will win the division. Well, Mike, all I can say is, hey, I'm glad that you're able to see that. I mean, that's how I personally feel in terms of, the Giants. I still think the Washington football team, however, will end up winning that division. But if not them, then it's going to be the Cowboys. I almost about 50-50 in that scenario. But there's a lot of questions on Dallas and their defense and stuff. But I like the Washington football team personally. But I get a lot of people don't believe in Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not saying he's the best option out there, but I think for what Washington needs and what they had last year, he's certainly an upgrade from what they had last year. And there was already a pretty good team. Let's see. Mike says, I can't believe the Bills cut Hollister, gift him to the Jags, and Marquise Stevenson is on IR. Yeah, that's really tough for Marquise, for real, that he's on IR. But yeah, I mean, when I saw the Bills cut Hollister, I was like, wow, like they cut Hollister. Okay, we'll see how that works out. Meanwhile, Penn State's looking. Sean throws it. I mean, he's got a high ball. I will say he throws a high ball up there. I feel like he throws it up there because he knows only his guys can get it or no one. But he's got a high arc-looking pass I'm seeing on these plays. But just incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and 10. See this play real quick. Guy in motion, fakes it to him, throws it to the back, and man, Wisconsin is great with the tackling. I mean, he didn't even gain a yard out of that. I mean, this team has been ready for anything that's been short, down low, or running through the middle. Wisconsin's just been ready for that. The only thing they have not been able to stop is that deep ball. But I think that they are willing to let Penn State keep taking those shots. Let's see. Mike says, let's see. It said he know if he throw it to Ray Lewis, he's going to, pop you. So he didn't do it. And so there you go. It's kind of smart, I think, on his behalf. Let's see. 3rd and 10. Sean, he snaps it, and they blitz through the middle. Wisconsin loves blitzing through the middle. But yeah, okay, so yeah, Sean, able to scramble, get about a good 8.5 yards on that play. I think that was the right decision by Clifford to make that scramble. Just would have been nice if he'd have been able to get in the end zone. So Clifford using his legs to try to get them in position. All right, so we're looking at a 23-yard field goal attempt by Penn State. Let's see if this will be good. And that is no good. He just missed it. He just flat out missed it. And in a game where scoring has been so hard, that's a tough one right there because Penn State put together their second best possession of the game and to fall short of the field goal. I mean, wow. First half was Wisconsin, this time Penn State. Let's see. Azure Sack says that am I the only person that thinks ESPN is really bad right now? And so all I can say, Azure Sack, is that ESPN, they need me. I'm telling you, like that's what they need. They need me. They need to bring me on. Let's add me and let's get this thing right. That's what they need to do. So if word gets back to them, they need to hire me. You said like you honestly like hearing independent media sources like mine. Appreciate that better than ESPN right now. But I'm very appreciative of that. I mean, right now ESPN, they're going through a lot, like some changes and stuff. There's a lot going on right now. That is for sure. But hey, I mean, I appreciate the support, really do. You and then those everyone else that subscribe. I mean, wow, to be at last time I checked, I think it was 740. I think it was 741, but now it might be 740 subscribers. And so to have that many subscribers, I mean, I really appreciate all the support, guys. It means a lot, really does. And so, I mean, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the year that I'd be in the position that I am right now in terms of just the amount of support that I've been able to receive from you guys, I mean, I'd have thought that you were crazy, especially early on, how, got off to a slow start. But hey, I really appreciate you guys a lot and all the support. So really appreciate that. Let's see. Mike says, man, he tried to run it like he think he's Josh Allen. Oh, Josh Allen. A good name for if you're in fantasy football and you like a quarterback that can throw it, especially with Diggs and stuff like that. It just gets crazy. And then you add Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley too, and then him being able to actually run it on the ground like near the goal lines and stuff as well. Possibilities. Let's see. Mike says that Fitz will be okay, will play okay for 7 games and then fall off and then replace and then go to the next needed team to hold them over. That's why Fitz is probably the most paid QB ever. And so, I mean, I think as long as if he falls off like you stayed there, then yeah, that definitely would be the case. But I don't know. I just feel like some quarterbacks as they get older, they become more consistent. Like you think of a guy like Josh McCown early in his career, he was not the player that he was towards the end of his career. But some guys, they just get better with age at the quarterback position, and I think that was very true for Ryan Fitzpatrick. I fully believe if the Dolphins don't start Tua and they stick with Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think they make the playoffs. I think he at least wins one more game for them, and then maybe they make the playoffs last year if they did not end up benching Ryan Fitzpatrick in favor of Tua last year. That's just how I feel about that one. Let's see. So Wisconsin's got it right now. It's 2nd and 5. Up under center is Mertz. Play action fake. Throws it to the tight end. And Ferguson's brought down for at least about, if anything, they'll probably get him close to the line of scrimmage. All right, so this is a key 3rd and 6. All right, Mertz has it. Incomplete. Will there be a flag? I see no flag in sight. All right, no flag. What a stand by Penn State there. And because of what Wisconsin is right now, you have to believe that maybe Penn State's going to get good field position out of this one. All right, so I see that the Oregon-Fresno State game is on the way. I see Oregon is up 14-0 in that one. No surprise there. Meanwhile, Wisconsin punts the ball, and let's see what Penn State can do with it. A fair catch is called, but his own teammate pretty much was pushed into him, so that's going to be a flag on that one. Let's see. I just says that I would watch ESPN every day if you got on, and it's not impossible. There are some YouTubers like KOT FOQ who started on YouTube and now he's an insider of the NBA sometimes. So hey, that would be a dream come true right there for sure. Like it really would be to make it that far. I know obviously this is very early in my journey and stuff, but that would really be the like absolutely amazing right there if that were to be the case. That definitely would be all for it. But I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Let's see. And I know that next week is going to be opening games. So y'all know that I'm definitely going to be streaming when the Cowboys and Buccaneers end up playing each other for that opening night. Definitely going to be streaming it. And even before the stream, I'm going to have a bit of a pre-stream where me, Coach Dante, and Key in the building are going to be collabing together. I'm not sure if it'll be, broadcast on my channel, if it'll be one of theirs yet. I think the three of us are going to rotate, but it's going to be something we're going to do throughout this regular season. So that'll be Thursdays before we have the actual, what'll be Thursday night football, but this time, start of the regular season, and also Sunday nights and Monday nights after the last football games conclude. So those will be more of like post-game reviews and stuff. But Thursday will be different. It'll be more of a pregame and do our picks and stuff. So there's a lot of details out there, but definitely do. You guys will see it on my channel. I think I'll probably be the first one to get the first crack at it being on my channel, I think. So yeah, definitely stay alert for that, guys. And man, what a pass. He overthrew. He throws with a lot of air up under that one. So he throws it deep and he puts a lot of air up under that. So you'd have to think at the next level, there'll be some DBs that'll run that down. But for right now, yeah, absolutely. He's giving his receivers a chance to run up under it, but he's still slightly overthrowing them from time to time. And this is 3rd and 15. But yeah, that is what it's going to take for Penn State to win this game. They've got to capitalize on those opportunities when you get those deep one-on-one passes and you're able to get a chunk of yards, at least draw some type of penalty. That's going to be huge. And here we are at 3rd and 15. Clifford, he's making some adjustments at the line. Has to snap it. Takes the snap. And man, he gets hit. What a sack on that one. I don't even know if he saw the guy coming, honestly. And what a sack by Wisconsin. And if that doesn't make the fans stand up, I don't know what will. But this defense is playing at a high level today. And so, yeah, you look at that. I mean, all game long, when it seems like Wisconsin's been bringing pressure, they've generally been bringing that linebacker across the middle. But this time, they just, the edge guy just pretty much got there and was able to get that sack. So what a play. They punt the ball, and that's going to go into the end zone. So that'll be a touchback. And that will be a touchback. So we will get to see what the Badgers will do here. Again, we are tied 7-7. And this was after a first half in which both teams were scoreless. Wisconsin, had ample opportunities at the goal line, but was unable to come away with any points due to errors and block kicks. But in the second half, both teams were able to put together a scoring drive. Penn State, they flat out missed the field goal earlier in this quarter. And so now we're still tied at 7 apiece. Now we see where this stems from right here. Azure Shack says he's honestly kind of mad at ESPN right now, though, because they like to have a bias against the Chicago teams. Oh, so he says Chicago teams in general. Meanwhile, the carry here for Wisconsin, and that's at least a good 7 yards, I think, on that carry. About 6 or 7 yards on the carry. That's going to bring up 2nd and 3 coming forth. So Malusi, he's definitely out there giving it his all today. He wants this game. He understands how important this is right now, as the Badgers certainly, they have a very good chance, I think, this year of getting to the Big Ten championship game. I think that's a realistic goal for Wisconsin, and so we'll see if they're able to make that a reality. But yeah, Malusa, he's over 100 yards in this one on 25 carries already. Play action fake to him. Throws the ball. And is it a catch? He did his best to stretch his feet, and they're going to say that was a reception. What a play by Davis the third to make that catch. Really laying himself out for that one. But of course, we're going to take a look at that replay. Let's see. All right, he gets the catch. Okay, that's a catch. That is a catch. I have my concerns as well, but yeah, that's a catch. Let's see. Okay, and Malusa, he's running. Okay, what a way to run. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. And he's just one of those backs that, as the game continues to go on, he's going to continue to get even stronger in this game. 26 carries. I mean, he's definitely in the zone. He's definitely out there running because he knows how big this game is for Wisconsin. So it's very critical that they're able to go out there and get some type of points off of this. Oh, yeah, and guys, definitely do check out some of the links that I have in the description. I definitely got stuff like my Twitter and stuff, my IG, Facebook group, all that stuff, So definitely do check out some stuff in the descriptions there. And if you're interested, definitely do, follow or sign up. And if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel so that way you guys be alert for the next stream, as well as, when I do a bunch of NFL, NBA news that takes place throughout the week. Definitely going to want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel for that. And here we go at 2nd and 9. All right, let's see. Mertz throws it. Tight window, but that is completed. That's at least about a good 5-6 yards completion on that one, setting up a 3rd and manageable situation for the Wisconsin Badgers. This would be 3rd and 2, actually. So this is very important for both teams, I feel like, in terms of the momentum of how this game is playing. All right, so Wisconsin heads it to the back. Oh, yeah, he's got that. He's got that. Oh, yeah, you have to imagine that after having to stop the run after the amount of carries that these Wisconsin running backs have had, that's going to continue to weigh on Penn State. And I'm sure that defense could not wait for this quarter to end to get to the sideline and get some water. So, but yeah, Azure Shack, what are they saying about these Chicago teams? I imagine they've got to be saying something about the Chicago Bears. So definitely let me know what's being said about these Chicago teams. Let's see. What is my favorite genre of music? Well, it depends. If you ask Spotify will tell you that my favorite music apparently is pop. If you ask Spotify, so I had no idea that was the case. But I enjoy listening to rap, R&B. But if you ask Spotify, it says pop. So I guess I'll trust Spotify. Oh, yeah, that was a nice touchdown. That really was a nice touchdown. And so, I mean, this game right here, a low-scoring game, pretty good. I see, by the way, guys, that Tulane has scored again. If we can get Tulane to score another touchdown and keep Oklahoma from scoring, I mean, we may just have a game there. Would that not be fascinating to watch? So we'll see. We will see. But 3 quarters down. And so far, I mean, they've pretty much matched each other each way of the game. So let's see if this game will head into overtime or if somebody's going to be able to pull apart here in the 4th quarter. I mean, Wisconsin, they really, like the scoreboard says they're tied, but Wisconsin, they really in the first half should have gotten at least a field goal. Realistically, they should have gotten 2 field goals at least at the minimum, if not a touchdown to go with one of those. But they came away with nothing in the first half. But, Penn State, Wisconsin came out 3rd quarter, made some adjustments. So, yeah, we'll definitely see how that goes. Most definitely. Let's see. I appreciate that, Mike. Appreciate it. Yes, really appreciate it, you guys. So much so. Really appreciate it. And so, And yeah, we finally, I mean, this is what, like the first time in a while that we've really had like a meaningful, like non-actual preseason game, but like a game that matters to stream. You know, 'cause I know the last time I did a stream, it was during the NBA playoffs, but and stuff. I know that was a while ago. My channel was still in this early stages back then. So, but yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys. And Shaq says he likes pop too. His personal favorite is hip hop and rap, though. I mean, you would say your favorite rapper currently is Denzel Curry. Okay, Denzel Curry, guys. There you go. Matter of fact. Okay, so this is what it comes down to. The number 12 versus number 19. I mean, a win right now for either team could look really nice after today. I know it's been a close game, so I don't expect that the loser would drop by too many spots with a loss. But man, I mean, it would go a long way in building that resume, because we know at the end of the year when they're talking about teams that will qualify for the college football playoffs, games like this will come up, even though it's week 1. So that's why if these teams want to keep their hopes alive for that, they're gonna have to go out there and win this quarter to win the game. Mike says, who plays Thursday? Yeah, so Thursday will be the opening matchup. You know, Dallas Cowboys taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we'll finally get to see Dak Prescott again in some meaningful action. You'll see Zeke, you know, they say he's lost some weight, so we'll see how he looks out there. Obviously, receivers, you know, Cooper, Gallup, CD Lamb, of course, you know, those guys. So we'll get to see that offense versus, of course, Tampa Bay. And basically, I mean, Tampa Bay is pretty much a superstar team, I guess you could say, at NFL standards. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, we'll get to see them. Well, we see everybody basically rocking now down there in Wisconsin, so we know what time it is. Let's see. Mike says, if I was an edge rusher and you're a quarterback, just know I'm going to pop you. That is funny. So meanwhile, that is let's see, that's going to be a gain of 2 yards there. So we're going to be looking at 2nd and 8. Let's see. Mike says nothing personal. I can't wait to Boogie Basham pops Mac, welcomes him to the bigs. All right, so we're looking at a 2nd and 8 now. All right, so he's under center, snaps it, hands it to the running back, met in the backfield, but able to power forward and make that at least a positive gain on that one. So they got to him in the backfield, but he was able to power forward and make that a positive gain. All right, so we're looking at a 3rd and 7 here. An important 3rd and 7. Will they be able to get a first down here? All right, so Wisconsin's got it in the gun. Mertz is looking. He throws it deep, and it is incomplete. Yeah, incomplete. No penalties on the play, so that is a pure incomplete pass there. I mean, he took a shot there. You got to like the fact he took a shot. I feel like he hasn't taken too many shots, but it seems like the shots that he does take, his receivers don't really have a chance to make a play on the ball. So they're going to go with the field goal attempt. Last field goal attempt they took was blocked. So let's see if this field goal attempt will be good. This will be 43 yards. This will give Wisconsin the lead. And in a defensive matchup like that, 3 points is huge. He kicks, and it is just good. It is good. Oh, man, that is good. At first, it looked like that was going to curve right, but it was good. So these Wisconsin fans, they're happy about that. They have the lead 10-7, but it's still a lot of time to go in this 4th quarter. And let's see how Penn State responds, because so far in this one, both teams have pretty much been even in terms of, scoring. So let's see if Penn State can respond here. Let's see. Adderstack says that I'm seeing big hits, especially big hit sacks. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mike says big. He says Pats can try to get Allen, but you got to catch him. You have never experienced having a rookie quarterback. That does not work out being a Pats fan. And so, I mean, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. I mean, is it impossible for a rookie quarterback to go out there and have the success his first year? I'm not going to say that it is impossible. I mean, a young Ben Roethlisberger comes to mind his rookie year. With the Steelers. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean, anything's possible. I don't think Bill makes that move unless he sees something special in this kid and he knows that he's already ready. Otherwise, I think he goes Cam Newton, but he has to be fully confident in him. So I trust in Bill Belichick. I do. Let's see. Mike says, Bill fans, that's all we knew. And then you look at Justin Herbert last year. I mean, it's very well possible that these Patriots can still go out there and shine even with Mac Jones. Matter of fact, I'm willing to say that that's going to happen. I'm confident in saying that that's going to happen. But we'll see. Time will tell, but I am really looking forward to that. And so here we are with 13 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter in a close game that has been a defensive matchup pretty much the entire way. But Wisconsin, they finally had the lead. I mean, they've been dominating time of possession. They've been dominating on the ground, so they finally are dominant. Well, I shouldn't say dominant, but they finally had the lead on the score. Let's see. Mike says, could catch lightning in the bottle twice. Well, that would be that would really be something if we did, but I wouldn't go that far. He said Mahomes walked on the best. Never know. It's possible, but yeah, it's possible. I think Mac Jones will continue to get better in terms of each year. I feel like he'll continue to get better. I think he'll come out and have a good rookie year, but I just think he's one of those players that as time goes on, he'll start to create a diet plan that'll help him get into the best shape, develop a stronger arm, as I've seen, as I saw it happen for Brady. I've seen it happen for some other quarterbacks where they develop a stronger arm as they get older and just, start switching up their routines and stuff. So I definitely can see the potential, but he's certainly, I think, ready to come in and step in and play day one. I mean, that part was even evident before he was drafted. So we'll see how it plays out, though. I mean, the AFC East division in general is really now young all across the board at the quarterback position. I mean, 2 rookies, a guy coming into his second year. I mean, still all guys that are up under 25 or up under 26, I should say. All right, so Penn State's going to take over at about the 31-yard line. Let's see. Mike says, I think I skipped something here. Let me go back to it. All right, so Mike says, do the Dolphins give up on Tua this season? I don't think they give up on Tua this season. I do have a lot of concerns for Tua, though, but I don't think that they'll be able to get a replacement because the only replacement at this point of the season you can get would be Deshaun Watson, and I don't think that's going to happen. There's just too many things that need to happen, and Houston's not willing to really let that happen in terms of just giving them away for what would be the perceived market value right now, considering everything. So I think Miami has to stick with Tua this year. Oh, man, look at that run. What a run by Penn State. Now, that's not something I've been able to say a lot today. I mean, to get those type of bursts out the backfield for Penn State, when they're able to get that going, that really helps juice this offense up. So let's see if they'll be able to get some points out of this. Obviously, they want to increase the tempo, keep that up. Throws that quick pass again. Okay, able to get about a good 6 yards on that one. But no, Tua, Dolphins will not give up on Tua on this one. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it does bring some concerns. It does bring concerns. Meanwhile, oh, what a drop. Clifford threw the ball right there, and what a drop that was, as he looks like he's limping. But, yeah, you cannot drop that ball. All right, so it's going to be 3rd and 4. This is a big 3rd down. Wisconsin's looking. Let's see if Wisconsin opts to bring pressure across the middle like they've been doing all game long. And throws it to the running back. Can he make the guy miss? And he does. And he gets the first down. He's still going. All right, so he's at about the 14-yard line now of Wisconsin. And they're keeping up this tempo here. Lining up in the shotgun formation. Clifford takes a snap, fakes it to the back, throws it, and that was not eligible for anybody to catch that one, honestly. That's going to be 2nd down and 10. But, yeah, it does seem like they are trying to get out from under him. I can say the same thing with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, though, especially them. I think they really want to move on from him, honestly, to be honest. All right, so we got 2nd down and 10 in the shotgun formation. Clifford trying to draw him off. Looks like Wisconsin's bringing pressure. He fakes it to the back and keeps it himself. I think this is the first time tonight he's done that. And he gains about 8 yards. What an excellent read. He saw the linebacker, the edge rusher already in the backfield and chose to keep it, which was the right decision to make on that one. Ended up picking up 7 yards on that one, and it's going to be 3rd and 3. And so this could be huge for Wisconsin defense if they can get a stop here. Could be huge for Penn State. Snaps it out the shotgun, hands it to the back, and he's definitely not going to be getting no first down on that one. He might have gained a yard, maybe a yard and a half, but it's going to be a 4th down, 4th and 2, they're saying. So this is going to be decision time. Do you go for it, or do you opt to kick the field goal? What do you guys think real quick? Do you go for it, or do you kick the field goal? Meanwhile, it's going to be 4th and 2. All right, they're going to kick the field goal. Interesting call here. All right, let's see if he's going to be able to make this field goal and capitalize on it. All right, it's good. Field goal is good. We're tied up 10 apiece. Let's see. Addershak says that he thinks that he twisted his hip working out and it hurt so much. Oh, man, definitely hoping that that pain goes away, man. And, hey, man, you can't be out there going all out like a maniac out there while working out, man. You got to be a little bit more cautious out there. Can't be showing off. Let's see, Mike says, if you're a NFL GM, have you seen any player that impressed you other than Wisconsin's running back? Other than Wisconsin's running back, I would have to go to the edge rushers they have and some of their linebackers on the defensive side of the ball. Like, those guys have been really impressive throughout this game, honestly, because the way that they're constantly generating rush, that's the department that I'd be paying attention to if I was like a GM or even a scout, on that defensive side for Wisconsin. Those, linebackers and defensive linemen, and I should say edge rushers and stuff. Those guys were pretty impressive so far in this one. You can say the same for Penn State. They got a couple guys on that defensive side that's definitely, shining. So it'd be most of the guys I'd be looking at on the defensive side of the ball. No doubt about that. Let's see. Mike says, Tua is inaccurate, but don't know what the issue with Hurts. Eagles quarterback never watched him yet. And so, with Hurts, it's just a matter of, from a pure, passing standpoint, can he make the right reads, the right throws? We'll see how he looks this upcoming season, but clearly I've been hearing a lot of things in terms of the coaching staff just not really too much being happy with his progress right now. I wonder how much they really wanted to hand the keys over to him. It seemed like, Carson Wentz just demanded to leave, so they went ahead and opted to, oblige. But I don't think they're 100% sold on Hurts, and it's just been that way since the start. But yeah, Tua's gonna have to prove that he can be healthy. Tua's gonna have to be, accurate. What I saw against Buffalo that last week, if he does that again, yeah, Miami's gonna call Houston and say, whatever you want, you got it at that point. Yeah, I probably would have gone for it, but you know me, I would have tried it, especially in the fourth quarter. I'd be like, look, I'm gonna try to win the game. But they made the right move though, I guess. Take the 3 points, especially in the defensive game. Just keep playing great defense and hope you get another opportunity. So we are all tied up 10 apiece. All right, so Penn State's going to get ready to kick this one off. And we've got 11 and 26 more seconds to determine who's going to win this game. All right, Penn State kicks it off. All right, so we're going to get to see Wisconsin come out there again, and let's see if they can respond to Penn State. It seems like both teams have been matching each other. Anytime one team scores, the other team scores. Anytime one team gets a stop, other team gets a stop. So let's see how this is going to go. Play action fake. Wisconsin's looking, throws it. Nice pass, but incomplete. Davis III unable to make that reception due to the great coverage by Penn State. Lining up in the shotgun, hands it to the back, and that's a gain of about a good 2 yards on that. Looking at third down now. Let's see. Mike says coaches are under more pressure than ever, but I think it's kind of crazy to give up on a guy after 1 year, maybe a year and a half. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed. I go back to when, like, you look at the years early on. You think of the Manning years. You think of and it's almost picked off. What a great play by the wide receiver to basically become a defensive back on a play and prevent, Penn State from getting the interception, because that practically would have been gift wrapped it. Meanwhile, the DB is currently lying down, receiving medical attention there. But, man, what a play by the wide receiver on that one to break up that pass, because that pass was clearly read and about to be picked off. That was a bad throw on that one. But, yeah, I mean, as I was saying, like they give up a lot quicker on quarterbacks than they used to do back in the day. Back then, they were more like, we drafted a guy, he has to work out. Pretty much a guy was tied to his quarterback. But now you can draft a guy 1 year like the Cardinals did for Josh Rosen, and the next year draft another quarterback, the same position. Mike says, if Belichick taught anything, the odds are we're going for it. Also, kicking tells future opponents you are playing scared, and so yeah, I mean the way this game has been going for them, Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I always take into consideration how is my defense playing in this game. If my defense is playing great and all like that, but I'm not able to really move the ball that much, then depending on how much time is left, I may take the field goal. But if I feel that okay, we're running out of chances here, we're not going to get another opportunity, then yeah, that's when I go for it. But it really just a lot of different factors that goes into play. Honestly, I don't even think I'm consistent when determining when to go for it or not go for it. Honestly. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I'll be out for a second. All right. So I am back. Apologize about that. So I see we're at 1st and 10. Penn State's got the ball at about their own 32-yard line. Out of the shotgun formation. Clifford snaps it, hands it to the back. All right, gain about a good 5-6 yards on that. So looking at 2nd and 5. Still lined up in the gun, puts the guy in motion. Throws it deep. He's looking. He's got him. See, if he put that ball in the money and not put so much air up under the ball, that could have been a touchdown. That should have been a touchdown. So yeah, Clifford, he puts a lot of air on the ball. But yeah, you see the receiver slow it down there. But I mean, he's been leading the guy too far a couple of times, so I guess that works. Clifford throws it, and that's gotta hurt right there. Almost came down with the reception. Almost, but unable to complete the play. All right, so he play action fakes. He's looking. He throws it to the back, and Wisconsin missed the tackle. Those missed tackles, they'll hurt you. Those are the tackles. I mean, Wisconsin's done a pretty good job throughout most of this game, especially in the first half, making those tackles. But as this game is continuing to go on, yeah, Penn State's starting to be able to break from some of those tackles. And when you do in that situation, you're going to be able to make some plays. Let's see if Penn State can finish this time with a touchdown. We've got a flag. Incomplete. Yeah, that should be against Wisconsin. Let's see. Mike says the time left. Yeah, we're looking at about 9 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in this game. So that's how much time we've got left in this one. 9 minutes and 34 seconds remaining. So we still got plenty of time left in this one. All right, sorry, make that 9 minutes and 23 seconds here. Guess my ESPN scoreboard's a little behind my TV. All right, meanwhile, we've got first and goal. Let's see if Penn State will be able to bunch it in there. Got a bunch of guys up front. And Wisconsin, they're going to try to both. They've got a bunch of linebackers and edge guys. Hand it to the back. Penn State, does he get it? Is that a touchdown? Touchdown, Penn State. Running back was able to run it in there, and that's going to be a touchdown for Penn State as they are going to reclaim the lead. And that is Noah Cain. Noah Cain, it took a while for them to get going. Meanwhile, here in the fourth quarter, just to give you guys a heads up, Oklahoma, they're up 40-28, but Tulane has the ball and it's looking like they've got first and goal from about Oklahoma's 5-yard line. So if Tulane can score a touchdown, I'm telling you, we've got a potential upset alert in the making. So let's keep our eyes on that as well. But wow, I mean, you have that. And then if Fresno State can score a touchdown, what I'm trying to really get at here is that a lot of teams, they're going to struggle against some of these opponents because they're so early in the season. Yeah, but right now we've got Penn State up 16-10. Let's see, looking at that replay, he's got it. Let's see. Mike says, believe it or not, there are many who wanted to give up on Josh Allen on most Bills media. I do remember that, Mike. I'm right there with you. I remember that. They wanted to give up on Josh Allen super quick. So they don't like giving players time to develop. They really don't. And most of the time, that has to do a lot with within the organization. Guys know that their jobs are really year to year, and so they don't have time to wait for a guy to develop. And so you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So and then sometimes, like the teams, like they realize once they had a guy for a year, they're like, okay, this guy's not it. But, Buffalo made the right decision, continue to believe in Josh Allen and realize that, sometimes you got to give a guy a supporting cast before you have a true evaluation of a player. I feel that way about Sam Darnold. I feel like how could you evaluate him under an Adam Gase system? And then, Frank Gore was probably the running back who he had the most throughout his time there. No offense to, Frank Gore, but having him at this point of his career, that didn't help much. The combination of him, Le'Veon being mostly hurt, that didn't help Sam Darnold in his development. So he needed to be in a better situation, which I feel he is now. So we'll see. Oh, man, what an extra point miss. Wow. That's going to be big right there. That's going to be huge because if Wisconsin can score a touchdown, that's going to be big. So now that puts even more pressure on the Penn State defense to make sure that Wisconsin does not score a touchdown. Mike says good. He's rooting for Penn State. Mike says a guy needs at least a season and a half. And so, I feel like for most quarterbacks, at least give them a good 2 years because usually you'll know by year 3, I think. You'll at least see some kind of signs of major developments and stuff. But absolutely, like just 1 year, or in most cases, it's less than a year. It's more like a couple starts, and then that's it. Because quite sure, if you're drafting the quarterback in the first round, that probably means that the guy that you're replacing them with more times than not didn't do so well, and the team's probably not all that great. So you got to build around him, put him in the best position to succeed. That's what the job is for the coaches, the OCs, the GMs, to put your players in the best position to succeed. And a lot of times you can say a lot of these rookie quarterbacks, they don't get that. And then it sets them up for failure. But not all the time. Sometimes the guy just doesn't really want it that bad. I think of a guy like, maybe a Jamarcus Russell or something like that, situations like that. So again, we have Penn State 16, Wisconsin 10. So Wisconsin was able to score, but missed the point after touchdown. So will this come back to haunt them? That is the question. Mike says that Allen showed signs of very bad nerves, needed to learn to relax, work hard on learning how to stay calm. Crowd return effect, Allen. A lot of that probably was his mechanics as well. I know they worked very hard before last year in making sure that, his mechanics was smooth and stuff like that. And when they did that, it became sky's the limit. It really helped him take his game to the next level. So, but Buffalo actually, was in the perfect position, and they focused on what can we do to help him improve rather than like, oh, if you don't get this done, we'll just find someone who can, so Buffalo did good by, Josh Allen, and it paid off, it paid off. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Once that pressure starts to heat up, yeah, especially early on, they expect the first round pick to result in someone that can compete head to head with a Tom Brady, and that's not how first round picks happen. So they do not come out Tom Brady made. All right, so that's going to be a touchback, and it's going to be Wisconsin's football with 9 minutes and 17 seconds left to go. And this one, can Wisconsin go out there and get a touchdown to grab the lead? Or can Penn State get a stop? Because their offense has been looking a lot better here in the second half. All right, so here we go. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 25. Snaps the ball, hands it to the running back. Running back, he's moving forward. Gets about a good 2-3 yards on that one. So this is going to be an important drive right here for Wisconsin, because what they want to do, they want to continue to run the ball. That's what they want to do in this one. Mertz is looking, throws it to the back. All right, gain of about 6 yards on that. Let's see, Mike says there are Glennons and Rosens that can't hit anything, but it's rare. You're right, it happens from time to time, It really does. I think of Paxton Lynch as well, guys like that. Sometimes it happens, but more times than not, if the guy shows some type of positive signs, that shows you've got something to work with. Hands it off, and it is a great call. Gets them the first down. Excellent call. Gotta love it. Get the guy going in motion. He gets it, makes the right cut. Good call by the Wisconsin Badgers on that one. And again, this is big for both teams here. Starting off week one, a division game, and we're talking about also 2 ranked teams. So pretty big for both of these teams. And to be in the game this late, you definitely want to win if you're either team. No doubt about that. Snaps the ball. He's looking to pass. Mertz throws. Okay, that was a nice pass right there. His receiver was open, got the ball to him. And that's what we need to see from here on out for Wisconsin. Let's see. All right, so that's going to be 1st and 10. Mertz under center, hands it to the back. That's probably going to be a gain about almost 2 yards. Probably about 2 yards. All right, so we're going to be looking at a 2nd and 8. Again, Malusi, he's got like 28 carries already in this one. All right, so they're lined up in the gun. Let's see if they'll hand the ball off again or pass. All right, they're going to pass, throws it to the back. And they get him as soon as he gets there. That's a gain of maybe about 3 yards on that. This is going to bring up a 3rd down. And you have to think time is becoming more and more of an actual consideration here, especially with Wisconsin. What they want to do to move the ball, they want to continue to run the ball on the ground and control the clock, control, just a line of scrimmage. And so that's what they want to do, be able to mostly rely on that. Obviously, you have to pass the ball so the defense can stay alert. But, yeah, that's what they want to do. So it's important that on this drive they get a touchdown. Otherwise, they may not be able to play the ball that they want to play on that next possession. And Mertz, man, what a hit. Mertz takes quite the hit on that one. All right, he took a hit on that. Yeah, in that situation, you have got to be able to get out of bounds. You're right there. Yeah, you got to get out of bounds on that one. All right, but we're looking at a 4th and 2, guys. Wisconsin is going to go for it. This is very huge in the game. We've got 5 minutes, 31 seconds on the clock, and a timeout has been called. And so when we return, it's going to be a 4th and 2. Will Wisconsin be able to get this 1st down? I feel like this is very crucial for them, because if they're not able to get this 1st down, then yeah, I'm not too much liking their odds after that. So I feel like this is going to be a critical moment of the game. Now, obviously, it's important 4th and 2, but I feel like this is the critical moment of the game once they return from that. Let's see. Mike says that he would panic, and he was referring to Josh Allen. Hope he can stay calm with crowds. Wyoming was small, little Buffalo, a good fit. Yeah, he was a perfect fit for Buffalo. You think about the crazy winds and stuff, the powerful winds down there in Buffalo, and the strong arm that Josh Allen possessed. I mean, he was just exactly what Buffalo needed, exactly what they needed. Mike says that Penn State needs to stop him. Absolutely. And they got a chance here coming up, 4th and 2. If Penn State can get a stop, that'd be really big in their favor, I think, especially if they can go out there and get some type of score and make this a 2-possession game. Because if they can make it a 2-possession game, it's a wrap. Yeah, you look at the face of those guys on the sideline, and they're thinking, no. But yeah, I mean, that's what I call an unnecessary hit right there in terms of the quarterback having an opportunity to try to get out of bounds. You don't want to take hits like that. All right, so they're reviewing the targeting here. Obviously, now this will have huge implications. All right, so let's see. So right now, just taking a glance at that Oklahoma-Tulsa game right now. Okay, so I see that one is still 40-28, but Tulane's got the ball in that one. So it's looking like Oklahoma's got that one, but want to see if they finish with it close. Since Ohio State took a lot of heat for being close with Minnesota, see if Oklahoma takes that same type of heat for being close with Tulsa. All right, so we're working with a 1st and 10, and this is going to be really big the rest of this drive. All right, so Mertz is up under center. Got a lot of the big guys up front. I think we all know what's coming. Hands it to the back. Able to gain about 2 yards on the carry. Penn State was looking for it. All right, so it's going to be 2nd down and 8 right now. Again, this is separated by 6 points. Penn State missed a point after touchdown. So if Wisconsin is able to score on a touchdown, they'll have the opportunity to take the lead if they're able to get a touchdown. Receiver in motion for Wisconsin. Hands it to the back again and able to run forward. And he just fell probably maybe a yard shy of getting that 1st down. And that was Garrido with that run there. But yeah, that was a nice burst on that one to get through there. Obviously, we know Penn State was thinking run. Meanwhile, we have a lineman being looked at for Wisconsin. But yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 1. We've seen Wisconsin a couple of times early in this drive use the run game to get close. Get close to the red zone, get in the end zone even, getting the goal line even, but fall short 2 times. One time it was a mishap where Mertz just, wasn't able to successfully hand the ball off, and Penn State picked it up. The other time was a blocked field goal. So let's see what happens this time. 3rd and 1. Quarterback sneak. And he's got that one. Thanks to the second effort by Ferguson, I believe, on that one, giving that extra boost he needed to move forward. So that's going to be 1st down Badgers. And in the process of moving this ball, this clock is continuing to go down even more. All right, so Wisconsin's going big again. 2 receivers up front. Snaps it. And they're running. Gain of about 3 yards on the carry. Oh, yeah, and if you're Penn State, you have to start wondering, how much time will we have left if Wisconsin is able to score a touchdown? If you're Wisconsin, you're definitely thinking touchdown. There's nothing else that you want other than a touchdown. So you have got to keep doing what's gotten you there. And they have got to finish. 2nd and 7. They're looking to pass. Blitz is coming. He throws it up in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Pretty much just getting rid of the ball. Yeah, Penn State was bringing the heat and good coverage, so that resulted in Mertz just throwing the ball away on that. So we've got an important 3rd and 7. You have to think that they're in 2-down territory in this one. You just have to think so. All right, so here we are, 3rd and 7. Wisconsin's lining up in the shotgun formation. Penn State's look to be bringing blitz. Mertz, he's looking. He throws it, and it is caught. It is caught by Davis III. What a reception on the play. That was a big reception there because Mertz had to get rid of that ball quickly. And I've seen a couple times tonight where he's thrown similar passes, and this guy has not been able to come up with the catch. But perfect time to finally have it work. And Davis III with another big reception in this one. And that's going to set them up at the goal line with 4 tries to get it in there. So now if you're Penn State, now you're really wishing that you made that extra point earlier. So you really have to try to make a stop. Oh, and he loses the ball. And it looks like Wisconsin has recovered it. But, man, you're telling me this is the second time that we've seen this happen. I mean, Mercer's got to protect the ball in these key situations. I mean, he just flat out lost it. And then his inability to fall on the football, making it worse. And if it wasn't for the running back being able to recover the ball on that one, guys, that could have been devastating. But, man, I mean, Mertz has got to protect this rock. You cannot have – this is the second time this has happened. You cannot have that happen. Cannot have that happen. And Penn State to use the timeout. Want to make sure they get the proper play in. Because if they can prevent, Wisconsin from getting any positive yards here and set up a 3rd and goal, that'll look a little bit more favorable because their goal line defense has been pretty outstanding in this one. Let's see. Oh, welcome back, Azure Shack. Meanwhile, they handed off to the back. Penn State was ready for that. Yeah, everybody knew what was going to happen there. So Penn State was ready for that. So now they're at the 3rd and goal situation. So this is going to be crucial. This is going to be crucial. This is going to fall on Mertz here. I mean, if he would not have fumbled that ball earlier, Wisconsin could have kept doing what they were doing. I mean, this reminds you of in the first half, the first time they made it to the goal line. I mean, things were going so well until, it was a penalty at that time that actually messed up their drive. And so here we are again, 3rd and goal. Can they make a play? You have to think they're going to have 2 shots at the end zone here. So they've got to figure out a way to score a touchdown. And Penn State, they're investing a lot in this, calling timeouts and stuff, trying to make sure that there is enough time on the clock should they need to be able to drive it down. And also in the process, make sure that they have the proper defensive calls. So smart calls here on the defense to call these timeouts. We've got 3rd and goal. Wisconsin, no backs in the backfield here. So no backs in the backfield. Snaps it. Mertz is looking. He throws it, and it is incomplete. And it's batted down. So now we're looking at a 4th and goal. 4th and goal here. This is very huge. Absolutely huge. I mean, they're going to need for Mertz to make a play in order to win this game. And, man, I mean, if they mess around and lose this game, I mean, all the opportunities they had in this, especially in the first half, when they scored nothing in the first half for Wisconsin, and they had multiple opportunities, it's going to come down to this ultimately. Can they make a play when they really need it? And they're going to be looking at Mertz. He's got to make something happen. He cannot go back there and throw it. And this time they're going to make sure that they call a timeout. So, yeah, they're going to call a timeout, make sure they get the proper play. Let's see. And meanwhile, while they call a timeout, we've got Azure Shack here with the update for the Oklahoma-Tulane game. Tulane's making it close, 40-35. Okay, see, and all this time I was saying, because, like when Ohio State, me being a Buckeye fan, everybody was going after Ohio State saying, how could y'all let Minnesota be so close, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, they're a Big Ten team. Don't disrespect Minnesota. They're a Big Ten team. As far as we know this year, they could be good. But, of course, in the opening games, there's going to be some close games. But, man, I mean, looking at this, 2 minutes and 18 seconds? I don't know how many timeouts Tulane has in that one, but that's certainly something that, could very well. If Tulane can find a way to upset Oklahoma, Look at here. And meanwhile, here we are, 4th and goal. Looks like they're going to line up in a shotgun formation. Mercer's going to have one back in the backfield. Let's see. This looks like they got 3 guys on the right, 1 guy up top. Let's see what Wisconsin's going to call here. Snaps the ball. He's looking. He throws it, and it's picked off. It is picked off. And so, what an interception, and that is going to hurt. You know, they needed Mertz to make a play, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He could not do it, and that is going to hurt. Wow. You can see the look on these fans' faces right now. They are absolutely devastated with that because they know that was the ball game pretty much for Wisconsin. Barring some type of miracle or some crazy luck happens, that was most likely their opportunity to take that lead. So that one's going to hurt. Let's see. Ajacek says that Tulane got the onside kick. That's insane. So Tulane is over there, and it's 40-35 right now. Oh, man. Keep me updated with what's going on with Tulane. And if they can find a way to upset Oklahoma, would that not make for headlines there? Wow. College football is officially back, guys. I mean, shoot, you look at Oregon, Fresno State. It's currently 21-13 right now. So all I'm saying, all these teams are struggling in week 1. You know, now that they're playing teams that, you know, are somewhat, you know, at least I guess you could say decent or higher quality than what they're used to playing. But I mean, some of these teams, they're just flat out just struggling right now. I'm not even going to lie. They're struggling right now. But yeah, right now, Penn State is really hyped up right now as they know the opportunity in front of them. They just got to finish this one out. That's it. Meanwhile, we've got a player being attended to out there on the field. All right, so they're helping him off the field there, but he's walking with a limp. All right, so Penn State in the shotgun. Hands it to the back, no surprise there. And he probably loses about a yard. Let's see. And Wisconsin, they burned their second timeout. They've got 1 timeout remaining. Say it isn't. Say it ain't so, Ajacek. Say it is not so. There was a yard short from the first. So you're telling me a yard separated possibly one of the biggest upsets in a long time? You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me, man. I really want to see Oklahoma fall because I just want to see that. Man, say it ain't so, Ajacek. Say it ain't so. Penn State up under center, fakes the ball, throws it, and that's going to be a gain of about 1. But luckily, he stayed in bounds, so that's going to continue to keep the clock rolling there. And it's going to force Penn State. I mean, it's going to force Wisconsin to use their final timeout. And now we're looking at the 3rd and about 10. So we're looking at a 3rd and 10. All right, so Penn State out of the gun. Back goes in the motion, goes in the backfield. Hands the ball off. Powers forward. Probably gains about a good 4 yards on the carry. I cannot believe it. Tulane was a yard short from the first. Yeah, talk about getting off to a slow start last year, starting off 0-5. Yeah, absolutely a slow start. All right, so there we go at a 4th and 6. All right, so that's going to leave 1 minute and 18 seconds on the clock. All right, so this is still going to give Wisconsin a chance. I know it's looking like Penn State's got it, but obviously anything is still possible. And Wisconsin's just going to have to bounce back from that mistake last time and see if they can find a way to go out there and take this game. All right, punts the ball. All right, picks it up and steps out of bounds. Kevin Durant's burner says, not going to lie, I would score more points than either of these teams in 57 seconds. And so there you have it, 57 seconds. And so here we are, big moments right here. All right, so we've got 1st and 10. Mertz, he's got it. First pass since the interception. He throws it, completed, gain of about a good 15 yards in the play. Let's see. All right, so we're doing a hurry up here. Obviously, Wisconsin's going to play with up-tempo here throughout the rest of this one with no timeouts. Mertz looking, he throws. Another completion, out of bounds. Great play on that one. Let's see. Adjustak says that Oklahoma won, and that 4th down stop was huge. You had to stop them down to where they fell a yard short of getting the 1st down, but you had to struggle like that against Tulane. I wonder how the voting is going to do in terms of where they're going to have them ranked. So that remains to be seen. Let's see. Adjustak says that will I switch to the Alabama game? And so I will not be streaming the Alabama game. I am looking to see if I can stream the Georgia Clemson game, though. I think that'll be a good one to stream. But definitely let me know. Are you guys going to be able to join for that stream for the Georgia Clemson one? If so, I'll create one for that one. And that's going to be all right. So now Mertz is trying to heat up a little bit. Let's see. Great game. Absolutely. Let's see. Wisconsin's throwing. And all right, so he gets the 1st down. And these guys, they're out here, they're driving the ball now. They're at the 25. There's about 38 seconds left. They've got no timeouts. But remember, in college football, when you get the 1st down, that does stop the clock until they line it up and stuff. So therefore, that does help as well. They're in the shotgun. Mertz has it. He's looking. He throws it. Incomplete. Incomplete. He's just has not been able to make those throws today. He's going to have to make a throw, though, if he's going to win this game. So it's going to come down to him. He gets another opportunity to redeem himself from that earlier interception. Great game call. Thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, man, I mean, he was off on that one. That was all Mertz on that one. Takes a snap out the gun. The pressure's got to him. He still finds a way to throw it away. Yeah, he finds a way to throw that one away, and that is critical because if he takes a sack there, the time it would have taken to line up, that would have been huge. And he's getting up with a little bit of a limp there. Referees are discussing. And they're going to throw the flag there. Wow, this is going to be big. Intentional grounding. Wow. That is insane, guys. That is absolutely insane. Let's see. Addersack says Bama scored already. Great throw from Young. Already scored. Wow, why am I not surprised about that one? What a oh my goodness, and an interception. And that's the game, folks. That's the game. That is a wrap. That is the game, folks. That is done. And we have it. It's final. Penn State won 16-10 in spite of the opportunities Wisconsin had, especially in the first half where both teams went scoreless. Wisconsin twice making it to the red zone, unable to have anything to show for it. And in the end of the day, that is what made the difference. Mertz, he just didn't show me anything out there, folks. Like he missed on a couple passes. He really did not seem like he's comfortable throwing in the tight windows. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. But man, that is wild. That is crazy. Let's see. Addersack says that Bama is like New England. They're amazing no matter who leaves. And we'll definitely try to make that statement true this year for the Patriots and show the world that we are deeper than just Tom Brady. Absolutely. But man, congratulations to Penn State. And this is big. I expect to see big Penn State make a big jump into the poll. I don't know how much they're going to jump in terms of the AP poll, but it's going to be a significant one, I think, especially considering how some of the teams at the top have been playing lately. So very exciting. But this was a missed opportunity today for Wisconsin, and this is one that's going to really hurt them. But the best part is it's just the beginning of the season. There's a long season. A lot can change from now and later on. So that's the positive aspect of that. But man, that absolutely hurts, guys. That absolutely hurts. And so let me see. All right. So while you guys are still here, would you guys rather, I guess, that I stream the Bama versus Miami game, or do you guys rather see the Georgia versus Clemson game? Which one would you guys rather I stream? I'll put that up there real quick. All right. All right. And I will be right back, guys. I'll be right back. All right, so let's see. Azure Shack says the Georgia Clemson one says that's going to be a better game. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the one that I'll go ahead and set up that stream for. But yeah, guys, there we have it. That is the conclusion of this live stream here. It was great. So really appreciate you guys so much for joining. Gonna set up the one for later on tonight when UGA plays Clemson, as we know that's going to be a good one. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Clemson's going to look now that Trevor Lawrence is no longer there. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing that one, how UGA is going to look this year as well. But yeah, guys, appreciate you so much for coming through. Be sure, as I mentioned before, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, definitely do consider subscribing to the channel and check out my links. If you're interested in like following, my Twitter, IG, all that stuff, Facebook group, definitely. But appreciate you guys so much and stay on the lookout for when I set up that next stream in a couple minutes. Other than that, see you guys next time.